What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another Soy Pill stream where he watches a video with you guys. Thugnificently, who has been spamming me recently, has said, I'll stop spamming your chat if you do that. I don't know what you said. Oh, say, hey, it's me, the Goy Pill, and you might donate $1. Well, let's see if you actually do it. But thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. What's going on, guys? Today, we're going to be watching the Sean Mike Kelly show that I went on. If you don't know the backstory, let me show this on screen. Don't know the backstory for the Sean Mike Kelly. Actually, hold on. I want to show the thumbnail for this, actually. Can I open this image in a new tab? Check it out, everyone. So this is the AI thumbnail. Oh, no, hold on. I'm not sharing the right window. This is the AI thumbnail for the Sean Mike Kelly show. And basically, I signed up for this thinking I was going to be debating on the side of the prompts, which was black people deserve reparations, white supremacists have ruined the black community, and then the third prompt, which I wasn't sure about, was Carmelo Anthony is innocent of murder. Then I find out like a week before, oh, wait, no, I fucked up. I am actually on the opposition side of this, so I'm arguing against this guy. I don't even know if he's a black supremacist. I got to look into this more. I guess we'll see because I only participated in my debate and then watched a little of other people's. But he seemed like just a pretty chill, progressive black guy. So we're going to see. Here's this AI thumbnail that shows none of us. It says black supremacists versus 10 conservatives. So clearly I'm none of these AI generated people. Here you have your typical conservatives. Old Asian guy. Okay, that kind of fits. Old Indian woman. Okay, maybe. A couple of white guys. Okay, yeah. Girl with a keffiyeh on. I don't know about that one. AOC looking blue haired girl. Like, what is this? So yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's watch some of this. Wow, man, people showed up real fast. Let's see, sharing this. So yeah, there's the thumbnail. By the way, Brian, they filmed Brian's episode before me, so I saw a little bit of that. He did pretty good in that. Now, I want to give my take on the show before we start. Maybe this will change my mind depending on what I see in this, but this is, Jubilee-esque, and I really don't like Jubilee. I don't like the way they frame it as this like, oh, we just want to like accelerate the conversation, and they bring on 10 people who are neo-Nazis and want to deport every brown person versus Mehdi Hassan. I think anything that is, doing this weird false equivalence between the left and the right is harming the discourse. They like posting the clips to get a bunch of views. It's not about promoting, political conversation. I really don't like it. So I talked to Sean about this. So I haven't seen any of these conversations except mine. I saw a little bit of Ethan's, but I was mostly talking to Sean behind the scenes, and I was telling him like my gripes with Jubilee. And he seemed to be open to hearing like, yeah, like I don't like the way they don't frame those conversations correctly, and they like just bring on crazies to be crazy. But like seeing this thumbnail, oh, black supremacists versus 10 conservatives, like, well, okay, like I understand you're a slave to the algorithm, but like first of all, it's not true. It's not 10 conservatives. Me and Ethan are liberals. I've seen a bunch of clips that he's been posting of like, crazy like conspiracy people, which is fun, but I don't know. I need to see after I watch this. Is this did I participate in healthy political conversation, or are we doing anything real productive here? Soypill, come to Brazil. You want to get me killed? Thank you, Drian24, for the $5. Friendly fire. Oh no, yeah, the accidental conservative. All right, let's see. Can I full screen?
No, we deserve.
I don't know if I'm gonna get copyright claimed on this. I'm literally a collaborator. And I don't know how the collaboration works, but maybe I won't get copyright claimed. Let's see.
Reparations for building the country for free and being unjustly imprisoned and enslaved and beaten and pillaged and psychologically damaged, and then following that, they never took their foot off our neck with Jim Crow.
5 times speed because I'm doing it.
I've ever debated an institution gave you
that's what I don't understand. People who go against my talking points truly hate black people.
Didn't you write a book called Black Supremacy? You are a black nationalist.
Did you read the book?
You are an
You didn't read the book.
And that's insane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. So this is what's his name again? Crap. I want to see the summary of his book real quick. Let me see what his name is. I think it's Dr. Will James, that's what it is. I wanted to say Dr. Mike Kelly. That's not right at all. Dr. Will James, Black Supremacy. So let's bring this up. Put that there. I don't like that it doesn't show the whole window. I gotta like keep doing this little replace thing, but I'm still getting used to a restream. Bear with me, everybody. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. All right. So we got Black Supremacy. This is a book of the century written by, this is a book of the century. He must have written this. Written by Dr. William Dion James. Black Supremacy defines what Black supremacist is while dissecting the systemic racism Black people have endured historically. The book highlights the historical accomplishments of Black people, okay, who have made the most significant contributions to mankind in the face of oppression. Okay, in the face of oppression, if that's what he's saying, that's a good modifier. The book addresses the negative behaviors that have intruded on Black culture and must be eliminated for Black people to thrive. Okay, that doesn't sound that crazy. Uh-oh, let's read some reviews. Weak. Very good. Good book. Bought this book for my husband for his request. He wanted to read it. I have not given it to him yet. He gets it September 1st. What are these fucking reviews? Disappointing and one-dimensional. I picked up Black Supremacy hoping for a thought-provoking exploration of power dynamics and racial identity, but unfortunately the book falls flat on many levels. Rather than offering a nuanced discussion, the narrative feels inflammatory and one-sided, filled with rhetoric that oversimplifies complex social issues. The lack of academic rigor and balanced perspective undermines the book's credibility, making it feel more like a polemic than a serious contribution to conversations about race and equality. The author's arguments are repetitive and poorly supported by evidence, relying heavily on emotional appeal rather than facts or research. This approach not only weakens the central thesis, but alienates readers who might have been open to learning more about different perspectives on race relations instead of fostering constructive dialogue. The book seems more intent on deepening divisions. Moreover, wow, this is really articulate for a review. Moreover, the writing is riddled with cliches and lacks depth. Excuse me. The author makes sweeping generalizations that ignore historical context, intersectionality, and the diverse experiences within Black communities. It's disappointing to see such a significant topic treated with such little care and intellectual honesty. In a time where we need thoughtful, inclusive discussions about race and justice, Black supremacy sadly misses the mark. I wouldn't recommend this book to anyone looking for meaningful insights or solutions. Wow, so that is like one of the most like articulate, fair negative reviews I've read on Amazon in a while. So this is not like some like right-wing hater, it would seem, unless they're concern trolling. And yet, Bobby Redfern says, excellent. This is excellent information. So, you know, take that, AG. Anyway, let's get into this video. Quality is 720p. Can I make it higher? Sorry. Should I stream in 4K? I just re-upped my restream like thing. One would think that if I pay $200 a year, I should be able to stream in high definition, but maybe not. All right, let's get into this.
$1,000 to 40 million people, $12 trillion. I know you struggle with math a little bit, but it's $12 trillion.
I already said 12 trillion. Black people in America, we've been running a marathon, and everyone else has been starting at mile 20. We had to start at mile 0, and then people ahead of us, they don't want to just...
Look, noted, everyone. I'll take a look into this in the future.
I'm a white supremacist.
Oh, no. Nope, we're not going down that one.
Oh, special guest moderator, the Raging Tomato, of course.
All right, so my first...
Wait, hold on. I got to read this. Wow, I look so tired. We have done our best to present the facts as we see them. However, we make no guarantees or promises regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of the information provided. In addition, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the producers of this program. Okay, all right. Covered their bases. I think they had an AI fact checker in like real time, and it was like, you know, like, oh, this person just said this. AI, Google search that and see if it's true. I don't know how accurate it was or if they were doing it to me, so maybe it'll appear on screen here.
All right, so my first prompt is that...
Oh, by the way, they recorded us talking for like 15 minutes, and they're like, oh, we got none of that. The cameras weren't working. No audio was picked up. And we're like, what? And so we just had to like repeat the first 10 minutes of our conversation from scratch. So that's why if we seem a little checked out at the beginning here, it's like we already had this conversation. This guy was here. I forgot this guy's name, but he was in some WIC panel I was in, just being like a huge fucking, you know, racist. Like this guy's actually, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, white supremacist level. I remember him like saying some weird neo-Nazi crap. So
Anthony was not guilty of murder.
Yeah, so the reason people are talking about this case is because I think a lot of race baiters picked it up and were able to push this as this narrative that white people are being persecuted, that black people don't face punishment for their crimes, and inevitably, like, this is going to spread and cause this racist propaganda. And I think it's really dangerous if we don't get this 100% accurate, because what you're doing is you're ceding ground. Moderate or people who aren't really keeping up with this case will see this and say, that seems reasonable. I think that sentencing wasn't wrong. And if you're not saying it, if us progressives aren't saying it, people on the left, then they're going to go listen to racist
See, I even said us progressives, Sean. You can't call me 10 conservatives. God damn it.
and go down that pipeline. So I want to be super clear that I do think it was murder based on the evidence, and I'd like to hear why you think it wasn't.
So, according to the Texas Penal Code 19.02, murder in Texas requires intent. It says, 1, intentionally or knowingly cause the death of another person. 2, intend to cause serious bodily injury and commit an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes death. Or 3, cause death during the commission of another felony. So, like, robbing a bank and someone ends up, getting killed. So, I think based off those definitions, you can't say that what Carmelo Anthony did was murder. His actions before, during, and after the stabbing point to an innocent person who didn't intend to kill anyone.
By the way, I think I covered this on stream before when I was trying to show everyone, like, what's my prep for the debate? What are we covering? Since then, a couple more things have come out. So apparently, Carmelo Anthony, then they did not admit this into court, was texting some weird things prior to the event where he's like, dang, I just want to like lick blood off a blade, or someone's gonna get it, which is strange considering he was invited into another school's tent. So one would think, like, given those texts, this would be some event where he was going out to look for crime, and he like literally got invited to a tent and got confronted. The other thing that got revealed was that oh my god, what's the name of the victim? Austin Metcalf is like, yeah, just as racist as his dad, who called people watermelon felons. Apparently has gotten in trouble with his brother multiple times for like spray painting racist graffiti, having interactions with minority students. So, we still don't know exactly everyone's motivation, but it just escalated things way past the point of like, wow, this is just terrible. I don't know if that makes it more or less murder. So one thing I do want to look at is the Texas Murder Code. I remember bringing this up. This is a Texas Penal Code 1902. Let me replace this. Basically, let's see, what is it? Murder 2. Yeah, so knowingly, no, not this one. Oh my god, is this not the right one? Wait, one sec, I might be stupid. No, it is 1902, okay. Next part of the code. Capital murder. Intentionally commits the murder in the course of committing or attempting to commit kidnapping, burglary, robbery. So that's the one he didn't do, because he didn't do some other thing. Let's see. I'm looking for murder 2. Criminal negligence. Crap, I lost it. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go back to the other thing. I feel stupid. I should have this prepared. Texas Murder Code 1902. Yeah, they made a sequel to Murder. It's not nearly as cool. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is 1902, Section B. Sorry about that. So this is what he's citing. This is what I had looked at before too. Is it too small? Can I make this bigger? Bam. All right. So a person commits an offense if the person intentionally or knowingly causes the death of the individual. And we both agreed, like, yeah, he probably didn't intentionally stab this guy. But 2, intends to cause serious bodily injury and commits an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes the death. So this one he fights me on. And I think this is ridiculous, because if you stab someone, this is going to cause serious bodily injury. And he makes all these kind of like weird semantic, non-legal arguments like, well, stabbing doesn't necessarily cause death. And well, he didn't know that it might hurt him and kill him. And well, if you stab someone just once, like, it's like, yes, stabbing someone in the same way shooting someone is a act that could cause serious bodily injury. And if they die in that event, that's murder. So that's why I thought he was guilty of murder. Anyway, let's watch the debate and see if I say that over and over and over again.
Sure. So I think on one, obviously, intentionally or knowingly.
Oh, but to preface, you notice I started off being like, hey, I think we need to be honest about these sorts of things. When someone does something that's pretty fuckingly clear murder and he gets convicted of that, maybe you can say he's over sentenced, but like, he stabbed someone, did not give this person fair warning he was going to stab them, and that person died. Unfortunately, we need to be honest and say, yeah, you're not supposed to do that, and you should go to jail for some amount of time for that. Maybe criminal negligent murder or something like that. Not necessarily, capital murder in the first degree. Texas has murder in the second degree, which is, hey, you didn't mean to kill him, but you did. seems like it meets that. I think you should go to jail. And if you don't do that, then you're ceding the ground to literally anyone who says he deserves to go to jail. And if the progressives aren't saying it, then it's all going to be right wingers. They're all going to get driven to those movements. That's bad. Explain your Pico bit. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I got to derail for this because I love the Pico bit. Explain it. What is there to explain other than it's the funniest thing ever? Imagine, if you will, you're watching your favorite streamer, Pisco, and you're a child. Would you or would you not slur the words and call him Pico? That's the bit. That's the whole joke. You go, oh, Pico, Pico, I love my favorite streamer, Pico. That's the joke. All right, that's it. I hope you understand now. Who's this deaf woman? Oh, hey, Deathawaits. What's going on? Guys, I recently made collapsitalism a mod, and then he called Lonerbox a house N-word. So I had to unmod him. Deathawaits and Rosh, you're both in here. Don't fail me. That's all I got to say.
Lee causing death, I think that's up in the air. I don't think you could use a preponderance of evidence to prove that. 3, obviously, he wasn't committing another felony. The knife he had on him was completely legal. I think it was against school rules, but that's not a felony. But on 2, so intends to cause serious bodily injury and intentionally or knowingly commit an act clearly dangerous to human life. I think this is without a doubt, if you're escalating force, using something that can kill someone, that's a knife, that is going to be intentionally causing serious bodily injury. That is intent to cause something that is clearly dangerous to a human. And even if you thought, oh, a knife isn't that dangerous, you can't use ignorance to how dangerous a knife could be to say that that wouldn't cause harm. The same as if he shot him. Shooting, isn't always going to kill you, but that's not, he could be ignorant of that, but that doesn't matter. The jury just has to show, oh, he intended to cause something that could do serious bodily harm.
So by definition and based off the data, based off the studies, I don't know how anyone, even if we brought a medical doctor in here, based on percentage-wise, when we look at statistics, I don't know that you can say that stabbing someone is clearly dangerous to human life. It's clearly going to cause bodily injury.
So he says, I don't know if stabbing someone, you could say, is clearly dangerous to human life. And he's confusing this kind of like colloquial understanding of like, yeah, if I stabbed you in the leg, maybe you might not die or something, which is very different from stabbing someone is considered lethal force. Like just legally, that's how it's considered. And even if you did just stab someone in the leg with a literal butter knife, you might like sever their femoral artery. This is why juries have this like what is a reasonable standard? There is like the common sense in the legal terms. So
based on data, it's not clearly dangerous to human life. And
I can't even understand what this bloke is saying. Is it too fast? I can slow it down. I can go back to here. Maybe we'll watch my thing at 1x speed and we can watch the rest of it in like 1.5.
3 studies. So we have 3 studies from PubMed here. All right. They did a study in Malawi where they had 2,352 stab victims. Only 3.2% of those stab victims died.
This is such a weird poll too. He pulls this PubMed study from Malawi, like the country in Africa. Like I just never would have expected that. It's not like any less accurate as far as I know, but it's just like such a random poll.
They did a study in North London, 645 victims. 0.8% of those stab victims died. They did a 17-year study with 1,961 victims of interior abdominal stab wounds. Less than 2%, 1.9% of those victims died. These are all on PubMed.
I didn't make this argument then. But even if like we were to go off this, it's like, hey, did you know if you stab someone and you have a 1 in 100 chance of dying? It's like, okay, like that's a pretty high chance still. That's insanely high. Like every 100 times you stab someone, one of them's gonna die. Yeah, that's still not like low. It's like, oh well, people like in prison get stabbed like 37 times with a shiv and live, right? It's like, okay, is it lethal force? Yes. Like it doesn't matter if we can save them.
So victims who get stabbed are
more than likely not to die.
More than likely not to die. So if we brought a medical doctor in here, they would say, well, what are the chances of them dying? And they're going to say, well, less than 90.
To be clear, also, it's like, what are the chances of them dying? Well, where are they stabbed? How close were they to medical attention? How many times were they stabbed? Like all of this matters. And I didn't look into the methodology of this, but it's completely irrelevant. So
85% chance of this person dying.
Sure, those are the aggregate stats. But you're familiar with the shooting PubMed stats, right?
Yes.
How many people die from gunshot wounds?
33%.
Yeah, so it's over 60% of people survive gunshot wounds, but that is not an argument that gunshot wounds are not lethal force, that are not something that would cause the 19.0 or 902 statute 2. That's still major bodily harm that could cause death, and that's all you need to prove. You don't need to show that he knew it would cause death. You don't need to show that in his head he was like, this will kill him, because you can't read his mind. All you need to show is stabbings are lethal force. Stabbings are major bodily harm. Any stab could be, sever an artery, have you bleed out. Any stab in the heart, that could kill him. It doesn't matter if he wanted to kill him. I think you and I would agree he probably didn't want to, right? He didn't keep stabbing him. He ran away. He was trying to get out of that situation, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that he escalated with lethal force.
It does matter, because if we agree that he didn't intend to kill him, then by definition, it's not murder. So
That's not how that works at all. Also, Texas doesn't even have manslaughter. I think it's like, second murder, the second murder, or capital murder 2 or whatever. It, like, you can kill someone and not on purpose. That's a crime, very specifically.
we look at his actions before, during, and after. He wasn't trying to come across anyone. He wasn't trying to be combative with anyone. He was sitting in a dugout. It was raining. He was told to move from the dugout. He left from the dugout. He left directly from the dugout, walked and entered the stadium on the same side where the dugout is. I can show it to you if you don't believe me.
No, I believe you.
Then he didn't walk far from when he entered. He was invited into the tent, according to Whitney testimony by Eddie Pera. He sat there. He was in the tent for at least 6 minutes, according to all of the documentation, at least 6 minutes from when I reviewed the camera footage.
Texas has manslaughter? I looked this up right before, and it seemed to be the case that it does not have manslaughter. Texas. Does Texas have manslaughter? Don't make me feel stupid in front of everyone. They do. 1904, person commits manslaughter if they recklessly cause the death of another individual. It's a second-degree felony. Why do they not think it committed this? If he recklessly causes the death of an individual, an offense under this section. Okay, hold on. If a person commits an offense, if he causes the death by criminal negligence, I think it's because what he did was, enough to escalate lethal force. It wasn't even close to criminal negligence. Yeah, okay. It's literally just like if it falls under criminal negligence, but it's not criminal. I don't know if you would even cause criminal. You can't say stabbing someone and not knowing it might kill them is criminal negligence, I guess. It's like not even close.
At least 6 minutes until the Metcalf brothers entered the tent without confrontation. When they entered the tent, then a confrontation occurred. He doesn't.
When I say Texas doesn't have manslaughter, I guess what I'm trying to get at is the murder charge that he would be charged under. Even if he didn't intend to do the capital 1, like cold-blooded, premeditated, some states would call this like capital 2 manslaughter, but here manslaughter is different from what it would mean in like California or Utah. So
have to leave. You can stand your ground. It's like if one of you told me right now to leave this room.
Right. So like, messing with railroad tracks or causing a car wreck. I see. Yeah. So it's not like, oops, I accidentally stabbed you. That's a little too much.
I said, no. This is not your space. You have no authority over me.
Sure.
To make me leave.
But that wouldn't give you the right to stab me if I said to leave and you didn't leave.
But if you put your hands on me, I have the right to defend myself.
Not with lethal force. That's a unnecessary escalation.
Yeah, but you have to prove I intended to use lethal
right.
To kill you.
Stabbing and shooting, things like this are considered lethal force, just regardless. Even if you don't think it is, you can't use your ignorance to plead that, I didn't know. It's a reasonable, objective standard of what is lethal force. So that is stabbing, that is shooting. And so the PubMed stats don't really factor into that because, yeah, sure, a lot of people survive stabbings, but that's still lethal force. If you punched me, punching can kill someone, but punching isn't objectively considered by like the reasonable standard to be lethal force unless you have like, a history of killing people with punches or you're like an MMA fighter. Most people would say, yeah, a bar fight that results in an accidental death is not going to end up killing someone for the most part. But stabbing is, shooting is, any other thing where you're like, I don't know, hitting someone with a car. These are things that fall under that section 2, which would be intent to cause serious bodily injury. That's what using a knife is.
Which debate was this? I can't find it on YouTube. It's 1 black nationalist versus 10 conservatives. You didn't know that based on the thumbnail that it wasn't me? You couldn't tell that I'm one of 10 conservatives?
Yeah, so
that was a racist dog whistle from Soy Pill. What was? You can't say that and not back it up, King Ghidorah.
Comparing shooting to stabbing is a logical fallacy because there's a significant difference of over 25% in the mortality rate. So we could stop using the shootings.
What percentage would you be like, okay, well, now it's reasonable? Because what you have a proprietary definition of reasonable right now. Like most juries, this is just how this works in the legal system. Stabbing is lethal force, especially when the opponent hasn't even punched you yet.
By the way, guys, I'm going like super easy nice on this guy because I'm already surrounded by people that, like, maybe not Ethan, but like this guy here, he's a fucking racist. This guy, he's just like a young Republican guy, but like I do not want to come across as in any of these people's camp. I'm like, look, I just want to say that we should be honest and say the right thing here. We probably agree on how this guy was overcharged, but like, I do not fall into these fucking people's camp. Like, I do not want to come across as like some ultra combative, like white supremacist guy. Why do you think black people are ignorant, Soy Pill? What?
Like, this is not a defense of your life. The self-defense is undermined when you could have left and didn't do this. So when he's like, hey, touch me and see what happens, this is him escalating something that was provoked by them. Don't get me wrong, but that's still him escalating the situation. So what would that line have to be for you? Would it be, oh, 60% of people die from this, 70% of people die from this, right? Like, you could say, how many heart stabs?
Look at this heated debate. We're so calm. Sean, what are you doing? What are you doing? Another heated debate. I'm sure it gets more heated when the actual racists come on.
Result in deaths, and that is where he stabbed him. Now, I don't think he did that on purpose, but he did stab him in the heart. So you'd have to look at those statistics and then say, well, 60% of people stabbed in the heart might die. Like,
no, they don't.
Oh yeah.
So
How
let's
many
look
people
at
die
that.
stabbed
So
in the heart?
among patients reaching the hospital with stab wounds.
What is he wearing? He's
involving
wearing
the
like a
heart.
Bruce Lee type. Here, can I get a photo of this? Bruce Lee. Is it like a jacket? He actually looked really cool. Bruce Lee button jacket. He had some drip. What would you call that? Bruce Lee, like the suit that Bruce Lee always wears. Yeah, something like this. This like it's called Gung Fu. That can't be what it's called. Let's see. Why is 4 hours? Because a bunch of people were there. Yeah, he's wearing one of these with like the cool gold buttons. I thought he looked real cool. He's a real nice guy. We talked a little before and after, but does not know how murder works, unfortunately.
The mortality rate is approximately 11.5%.
Okay.
So, and then again, you would have to intend
Sure,
that
it's a
he
mouse suit.
intended to stab him in the
Yukami.
heart and not just the chest area, where the numbers dropped drastically to 7.7%.
But think about that,
but no,
11%,
because you said
right?
one thing. You said that self-defense leaves the claim leaves when you could have left and you didn't leave. Well, that's not true, because Texas has a stand your ground law. I don't have to leave, especially somewhere where I'm not told to leave by someone in authority. If you're not the business owner, if you're not an employee, he was told to leave a place by another teenager after he was invited there by other teenagers. He didn't have to leave. If there would have been an adult who told him to leave, then you can make that argument. But a kid telling him to leave and he chose not to leave, and then the kid put his hands on him first, and then he defended himself. And you said, oh, well, punching someone, or I haven't punched someone yet, that doesn't mean like it's fearful for your life. I teach martial arts. That's an attack. If I grab you, that's an attack. Grabbing you, we know what comes next: punches, kicks, knees, who knows what's coming next, elbows. So you stop the attack before it progresses, and that's what he did. And he
Aiden, you just looked it up. Depending on if the victim can make it to the hospital, it ranges from 10% mortality to above 80%. Oh, for stab wounds? Yeah, if you like bleed out, that makes sense.
we know he was sorry, because he immediately
Gotta go kind of feel you. I'm sorry to hear that, Damon.
dropped the knife. He stabbed him one time. He ran. What did he do? What did he ask the cop?
He said, is he okay, right?
Yes, he asked the cop, is he okay? What did he tell the coach when he walked back over to check on Austin Metcalf? They walked back near the tent. What did he tell the coach?
I don't remember this one.
He told the coach he's not going to die.
Okay.
All this
So I think it might improve the drop-in experience to put a brief explanation or a bit of context on screen. Hey, go back to the beginning of the stream and watch. I explained this, okay? If you need the Carmelo Anthony background, there's another video on the VODs channel. I can't explain. Every time a new person jumps in, you resetting me. I'm just trying to make a tailored entertainment experience for you people, and all you do is drop in. I scheduled it and everything.
proves that he thought he wasn't going to die.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I love you. I didn't mean to yell. I'll never do it again.
He didn't intend for him to die. What 17-year-old kid do you know is checking up on someone, asking this while you're in handcuffs? Is he going to be okay?
Yeah. Well, I
He's
think
not
you and I
gonna
agree
die.
on this, right? Like, I don't think he had any intent in his brain that he was going to kill this person, but that's just not how the law works. If you use lethal force, a knife is lethal force. That's why you brought up this stat: 11% of stab wounds to the heart are lethal, right? This is not actually evidence in your favor, because people trying to stab someone in the heart usually are trying to kill them, right? This is not something that you accidentally do a lot. I think Austin, didn't get stabbed on purpose in the heart. I think it was like a, hey, I'm stabbing you, and he ran away immediately, right? But that doesn't really matter. The purpose is people try to kill people by stabbing them in the heart.
Right, and he says it's 11%. So 1 in 10 times this happens, you die. It's like, okay, would you let that happen to you? Well, it's 90% of them survive. Like, this is like the COVID stat, right? Where, what was it, like 90 something, pretty high survival rate. It's like, okay, does that mean it's not going to kill millions of people?
And it doesn't even often kill them, right? They often survive. So you just have to prove that this is lethal force, and that's what a knife is. You don't have to show that, oh, most people don't die from stabbing, most people don't die from shooting. That doesn't mean shooting isn't lethal force. And if you use lethal force, that's all you need to show is he intended to cause him.
I looked this up at the time, but like, is stabbing with a knife, lethal force. Like, how do they, like, obviously this is like the reasonable standard, but like, is there some statute that you can like refer to? Lethal. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. I do like Restream doesn't hear every time I try to control F something. You guys don't hear it go dee 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 dee, like, because I can't find it. Let's see. Bring this over here. Replace with the Texas law. What is the self-defense in Texas? Oh, okay, we still got it. Oh, this is about the Trayvon Martin thing. Okay. Force is justified when an individual has a reasonable belief. The use of force must also be immediately necessary. You can't walk away and then come back and assault someone. There's some limits on the use of force. These include the person did not provoke the person against whom force was used. Okay, so he didn't provoke. Carmelo Anthony, to my knowledge, did not provoke Austin Metcalf. The provocation is not strictly verbal. You can't assault someone just because they called you bad names. Okay, this means that Austin Metcalf was probably calling him bad names, but I think they just had like a hands on him. Let's see. Where's knife? Okay. If someone hits you, you can't pull out a knife and stab him. Under section 9.31, the force is limited to the force used by the other person. Okay, well, that's just kind of, bam, done. All right. That's what happened. He put hands on him and he stabbed him. I didn't even cite this one. I should have looked at that. Let's see. Section 931. Let me open a new tab. Texas law. Self-defense. Oh, well, here we go. Damn, I feel stupid for not having this specific statute ready. I mean, all the arguments didn't really require it, but this really is really does kind of do it for them. So Texas Penal Code 931. The actors, okay, a person is justified in using force against another when and to the degree that the actor reasonably believes the force is immediately necessary to protect the actor against the other's use or attempted use of unlawful force. The actor's belief that the force is immediately necessary, as described, is presumed to be reasonable if the actor knew or had reason to believe that the person against whom the force was used unlawfully and with force or with force entered or was attempting to enter unlawfully with force the actor's occupied habitation, vehicle, or place of business. No. Unlawfully and with force removed or was attempting to remove unlawfully or with force the actor from the actor's habitation, vehicle, or place of business or employment. No. He was attempting to remove him, maybe not unlawfully, from their tent. Was committing or attempting to commit aggravated kidnapping, murder, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, robbery, or aggravated robbery. No. 2, did not provoke the person against whom the force was used. Okay, that he didn't do, to our knowledge. Was not otherwise engaged in criminal activity. This is technically true. The use of force against another is not justified in response to verbal provocation. Okay, not justified. To resist an arrest, no. Or search, no. If the actor consented to the exact force, oh, so if they got this, like, let's have a fist fight and then you stab them, it's not allowed. If the actor provoked the others, so that didn't happen. Yeah, so basically this is just like your force is not reciprocal when you take out something and stab them. But I really should have just cited this. I should have had it handy. I don't know if you would have respected it, because we started at 902. If you just read 30 more sections, you can see, like, yeah, this is not how lethal force works.
Bodily harm. That's it.
Yeah, but we have to look at the nuances and the variables of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference between shooting someone one time and stabbing someone one time. I bet you if you look at data for people who got stabbed over 25 times, I bet you're significantly higher than people who got stabbed one time.
No, but a lot of people survive.
If you look at victims who got shot 12 times versus victims who got shot one time, that matters. You can't say, oh, lethal force.
Absolutely no one would ever make this argument in court. Like, well, officer, I didn't mean to kill him. I only shot him once. You know, like, it's ridiculous. Now, obviously, if he stabbed him 10 times, this would be a greater indication that he intended to kill him. And in fact, might give him the capital punishment instead of the lesser punishment. But regardless, like, that's not an excuse. You can't stab someone once as a lethal force escalation and say, well, I didn't mean to kill him. It's like, well, it doesn't matter if you meant to kill him. You used force that can cause serious bodily harm or death.
Which is used. According to the definition, you have to prove intent.
You can use lethal force if they are much larger than you or there are multiple people. I think if that's true, a bunch of really big people, and they were bigger people, were beating him up, like kicking him on the ground or like surrounding him and punching him, that might actually be something that's like, okay, reasonably you can use a knife to defend yourself, because you could die from that. But just they put some hands on you? No. And one guy did.
The burden of proof.
Hey, why are you conservative? I'm not. But this fucking title, man,
is on the state, not the citizen,
well,
to prove intention.
The burden of proof is to intent to cause bodily harm, and stabbing once is all you need, because that is lethal force. One stab can kill you, as we've seen here.
It's not intent to cause bodily harm. The full penal code law states intent to cause serious bodily injury and commit an act clearly dangerous to human life.
Yes,
That's both.
stabbing is an act clearly dangerous to human life. As, according to juries, according to courts, this is a reasonable standard of dangerous to human life.
With the intention, though.
Yeah, to cause that harm. But you can't use the ignorant. You can't say, oh, well, he didn't know. Carmelo didn't know this would cause bodily harm. That's not enough.
You can use it.
It's not.
You literally can.
That's not. Just because I don't know that the gun will kill you does not mean that you can say, oh, well, he didn't know guns killed people. You can't use ignorance of the law to say that it's okay to do it.
But they do use it all the time. So it's like someone's cognitive state is always brought into question when they enter court.
It matters.
That's how we get people who are deemed not fit to stand trial because of their cognitive issues. They could be
this matters.
deemed insane or something like that. So it matters.
Sure, but
if I can prove you did not intend, if I can in fact prove you did not intend to, you did not know it would kill the person, then you're not going to get the same time as someone where I prove you intend to kill the person.
Well, maybe we can find agreement there, because I don't think you should have gotten 35 years, right? Because it was on them, even if it is still a murder charge, and I think that would still pass, you can reduce that sentence, right? And you're aware that there's like this 2 to 20 years for a crime of passion. I think this was a crime of passion, right? This was like a split-second decision. Although he did escalate a situation, he could have left. Escalating that situation when people are surrounding you, telling you to leave when you didn't provoke them, and you're like, I'm just trying to get away from that. All that evidence you just used to say he checked if he was okay, he ran away, he came back to check on him. This shows me that he probably didn't try to kill him. It was probably a split-second decision to try to like get out of that situation, right? I think that there's a reasonable argument to say that you could reduce that sentence, and I do think he was overcharged. But would you say that that's unfair, or do you think he should have gone completely guilty or completely scot-free?
Well, my argument is that he wasn't guilty of murder. So I think we agree. I think that they could have gave him a lesser sentence and they could have factored in the evidence that shows he did not intend to kill. He went to the track meet as a regular teenage boy. He had a multi-purpose tool, which I can show anyone here the tool if they don't agree. The tool had a glass cutter on it, a glass breaker on it. It had a
4-inch blade,
a device that way you can cut spline or small pieces of rope. In his book bag, he had crossword puzzles, he had keys, he had snacks. This is a kid who was going to a track meet to compete. This kid had a 3.7 GPA. He was a captain on his football team, had leadership qualities, was a good
no
kid.
Priors, right?
No priors, nothing.
Stable
Squeaky
household.
cutter clean. And American society says, oh, black culture, you got YNs, you got kids that do negative things, bad things. This kid is exactly the opposite. And you got people cheering that this kid got 35 years when he could have been in society being productive instead of wasting taxpayer dollars on a kid who didn't intend to murder someone. Yeah. We know the evidence shows that. So a lesser charge, I can agree to that, but not murder.
Well, okay, then we might agree, because I agree with all that. He had no priors. He almost definitely did not go here to kill someone. If he had this knife on him, either he was using it as a tool, or some people just have a knife for like self-defense, right? And that's like how he perceived he used it. I bet
I'm being extra conciliatory here, because I'm like, fuck this guy for sure. And again, we're going to watch what these guys do in their argument. All I remember is I walked through the room at one point and I hear someone saying blacks as a noun. And I'm like, all right, when you hear the word blacks come out, there's going to be something that's like key indicator this person's racist as fuck. So we'll see it.
In his heart of hearts, he thought that was self-defense, right? That makes sense to me. Unfortunately, Texas doesn't have manslaughter in this way as a secondary charge. It's you are charged with murder, but the sentencing is then reduced to the second degree felony. So
right. So I guess I got this wrong. Manslaughter does exist, but not in the same way. It's like the second reduced murder charge. But I need to get the legalese down pat. But he didn't know it enough to correct me on it. So thank God, because I would have looked like an idiot, which you guys pointed out.
It's still called murder, but at the end, then they have to, with a preponderance of evidence, show that this was a crime of passion. It seems that they failed to do that, even though that you and I probably agree it probably was that. That's when he wouldn't have gotten the 2 to 20 years, but he still would have been charged with murder, even if he got that lesser charge or lesser sentence.
Yeah, but they could have included the lesser charges, and then they could have sentenced him to a lesser charge like they've done in various other cases, and then he could have ended up with a 2 to 5 year sentence, and then I wouldn't be here making this argument.
So, no, what I'm saying is if he got the 2 to 20 years, he would still have been charged with murder. It just would have been second-degree felony charge, or sentencing for a charge of murder.
You could get charged with murder and not found guilty of murder. You could get found guilty. You get charged with murder and other lesser charges, and then the jury can decide whether it was murder or a lesser charge.
The lesser sentencing, 2 to 20 years, is still a murder charge. That's what I'm saying. That's how it works in Texas.
No, they could give him a manslaughter charge. They could give him...
This I'm pretty sure about. That second crime of passion, that's still a murder charge.
Oh, what's aggravated assault? One of those charges. They could have put one of those charges in the book.
What I'm saying is a crime of passion, stabbing with this second statute with intent to cause bodily harm, which is murder. still is that sentencing of 2 to 20 years, which you might call manslaughter, but this is still called murder. So either way, he gets charged with murder.
No, they have other. Are you saying they don't have like manslaughter as a charge?
I believe not in this county, not the
So
way
that's wrong. Apparently, they do have it, or maybe not in the county if it's Texas Penal Code. Now I'm not sure. God damn it.
works. It is in the same way that you might call
Hey, Jenny.
manslaughter second-degree murder. This is what it is. It's murder with a sentencing of a second-degree felony.
Yeah.
Soy Pill, do you ever worry that sharing some of these arguments with conservatives will inadvertently shift viewers towards the right? Do they even care about these social justice issues? So that was the point I tried to make at the beginning, where I'm like, no, in fact, we should be saying these arguments, because if we don't, the only people making what I would see as the reasonable argument, which is this guy did something wrong and should go to jail, are these crazy racist right-wingers who are bringing it up to race bait. So we have to make the argument, say, hey, by the way, the only reason we're hearing about the Carmelo Anthony case is because racist people brought it up. No one fucking cares about this like fucking altercation at a high school track meet. This shit happens all the time. Random person stabbed here, random person stabbed here. Like, people get stabbed. The reason it's brought up and it's a national fucking case is because of racists. That's why Matt Walsh talks about it. That's why Ben Shapiro is talking about it. That's why Nick Fuentes is talking about it. So it's incumbent on people who are more reasonable, who aren't fucking racist, to go in and be like, yeah, reasonable person who's looking for like a reason why this is showing up in their Facebook feed. Yeah, this probably should have been charged, but you know, that's about it. You don't have to cede that ground to the right. So no, I don't think I'm mushing myself in with the conservatives by making that argument. It's the opposite.
So you're saying they don't have lesser
lesser sentencing? Yeah, they do.
No, not sentencing. They don't have charges, like lesser charges.
They have different charges, but but what he did would be murder with a second-degree felony sentence for a charge of murder.
No, what he did would not be murder at all, based on definition.
In Texas, there are municipal charges and state charges. Municipal charges are all misdemeanors. Felonies are run through a state circuit court. Oh, okay. Casey, who are you who knows so much? Who knows so much about these things? Mr. Casey the Brash. This Texas, are you lying or are you educated?
Based on the second statute, it would be.
No,
I mean, I know you disagree, but this is how this would have happened. If you and I agree he should have gotten a 2 to 20 year sentence, that would have come from charging him with this second statute.
Mm-hmm.
And then sentencing him for 2 to 20 years, because the defense would have had to prove that it was a crime of passion.
Fair enough. So based on the second definition, prove to me, based on his actions, that he intended to kill him. He intended to cause the death.
Well, if you don't agree that a knife is lethal force, then you have a proprietary definition of lethal force.
No, a knife can be used to cause lethal force. It's a lethal weapon, so it's a gun. Yeah. But prove to me, based on his actions and the evidence, he intended to kill him.
Well, he had a knife and he used it. That's using lethal force.
But having it, no, that's not the definition. You want me to read it?
I think you're misunderstanding the definition.
No. Intend to cause, I'm just going to read what it says. Right. Intend to cause serious bodily injury and commit an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes death. Yeah, now, prove to me he intended and he knew he would kill him. He knew he would cause his death.
Right. So this is not how the courts work. You can never read someone's mind. You have to go on what happened here. He had the knife in his bag. He knew his hand was on it. He said, I'm going to use this. He didn't say it was a knife, but he knew he had his hand on the knife, and then he used it on a person. This is using lethal force with intent.
Where's the intent? Where's the intent?
When it came out of his hand and went into his chest.
Where's the intent to cause death?
Well, maybe I can help a translation error. If he had
translation error. See, that's racist. She's saying this guy doesn't speak English. Sarah. I think Sarah might be a little racist, honestly, but
he was standing here and he swung a knife, not I don't know, hanging out, having fun, and he swung it being funny, and it happened to stab somebody. That would be like an accidental. Mm-hmm. But if I actually take a knife and I direct it towards you as if I'm going to stab you, that is the intent portion of it. Maybe that helps. I don't know.
A little bit. I mean, also you can, there's cases that I've looked at where you can show that it wasn't intent to kill, where people are slashed multiple places because he's just kind of wildly flailing. And it's a lot harder to show intent when it's like, okay, I'm just trying to get.
I look so tired in this lighting. I flew to Vegas for this, so I was incredibly sleepy.
Get you off of me and get away. But it's when you're shoving it into someone's chest, unfortunately, it's going to prove intent a lot easier.
No, see, so for me, the intent would be if he stabbed them multiple times. And also, if you look at the video clip, Austin is standing.
Why the multiple times, though?
Because multiple times you're more likely to die the more times you get stabbed.
Oh, no, sure, but all it has to be is serious bodily injury.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, it's a little zoomed out, though.
So in the video, and I zoomed in on it, studied it several times, right? In the video, he's standing over him, and he's significantly bigger. He has 40 pounds on him.
I have a question. Are you the only liberal in the room doing debates? No. So Ethan's going to come up and make a similar argument. The same thing happened to Ethan. Ethan from I met him in Unfuck. He comes in and he's just like, oh, hey, I didn't know you were going to be here, Soy. And I'm like, yeah, what's going on, dude? And he's like, oh, I accidentally signed up to be a conservative in this debate. I'm like, yeah.
According to their max prep. So if you look at the
Yeah.
same thing, their max preps has Carmelo Anthony listed as 5'11", 160, and they have Austin Metcalf listed as 6 feet 200.
Yeah, it's a big weight difference. Yeah.
So, and he's standing over him, and he grabs him and pushes down. All he quickly does is this, and gets out of it. It's so quick. I can read it to you. He stabs him. He gets grabbed at 9:38, 9 minutes and 38 on the victim, according to the F1 444 video brought into the North End point of the stadium video.
Mm-hmm.
He gets grabbed at 9:38. He's already out of the tent at 9:40.
Sure.
Like 9 minutes and
I mean,
like 2 seconds.
How fast you stab someone doesn't make it lethal force or not. That
No,
doesn't
that
matter.
we're going to intentions.
Yeah,
Like, that goes to show that it was a quick reaction.
If you shoot someone quickly, that's still lethal force. If you stab someone quickly, this is still lethal force.
A gun, a bullet is very far different than a knife.
It is, but unfortunately, both are lethal force.
Yeah, but that's a logical fallacy in the percentage.
Like, when people make these bad arguments, like, you want to go so hard on them. I wish this guy was like a conservative and he was like talking about how great MAGA is, and I could just like tear into him. But like, he was such a nice guy. He just came in here. A bunch of racists are about to dogpile on him. It's just like, oh, dude, it's not how it works. If you stab someone, that's lethal force.
Of death. It's far more dangerous if I use a gun than if I use a knife.
Yeah,
Statistically
and it's far more
speaking,
dangerous
just
than a
logically.
knife than it is, a fist. But a fist is usually not lethal force unless you have what do they register your hands if you're in martial arts or
They
something
don't do
crazy.
that.
They don't do that. That's a myth.
No, I'm a fourth degree black belt. They don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And
well,
I was
won't get it
scared
if
of him because he's a 4th degree black belt. If I had said the wrong thing, he would have reached over the table and killed me. No, I'm joking, but let's see, where is this? Sean shared this with me. Let me find this real quick. Apparently this just like he just caused a fist fight. And as entertaining as that might be, this can't be productive conversation. Let's see, where is it? Does he timestamp it as this guy tries to fight him? Where are we? Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh yeah. This is so insane.
Like,
when I'm literally nothing,
Come on, attack me. Come ahead.
I'm literally nothing.
Come ahead and attack
You
me.
come into my
Attack me.
fucking country,
So here's
you
the
want to
thing.
lecture
So here's
me
so here's the thing.
about
You
what
see,
the hell
That's exactly what the Palestinians
my
do.
country should
they
be doing?
They make themselves strong. They make themselves they can actually do something about it. But in fact, they can do shit about it. Can't shit about it.
Sit
You
down.
understand?
Sit down. Please
So here's
sit
the
down.
thing.
Please sit down.
So you
No,
see,
sit
you
down.
understand?
Dennis, sit down. Sit down.
Look
please.
at this.
I'm right next to you.
Dennis.
I'm right next to you.
That's the thing. He
Like-
can't
right
touch
next to
me.
you.
He
I'm
can't
sorry, is this the productive conversation we're looking for? This like
shit.
I can do whatever
I don't
the
know
hell
what we're doing
He can't
here.
do shit.
Dude,
What's going on?
Oh my god.
How you doing?
dude, guys. Seriously, don't, let's not be.
I think he does it again too a little later.
Hang on.
He's like a foot shorter than me.
Sit down. Sit down.
It's like what's going on? Is it
Yeah,
here?
The
Holy
fact is
shit.
that you-
Oh yeah, here we go.
Your fucking statement is like this. You can't
Shut
do
the
shit.
fuck up, you
can't do
genocidal freak.
shit.
Shut
You're
the fuck up,
This
you
is
absolutely
guys, preview of the Loner Box debate. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get in person. We're gonna fight.
genocidal fucking
You're
freak.
absolutely
You
coward,
genocidal
and you're a
fucking
fucking.
freak.
You're
Shut the
absolutely
fuck
coward. You
up.
can't do shit, my brother. And
Dude, stop it.
Shit, you shit?
Stop it.
You wanna
Okay, I
fight?
think they're getting to fist fights. Anyway, so like, yeah, I was joking about actually fighting this guy, but apparently that happened in like the next one. So
Just in case anyway. But either way, the point is that this is what is considered lethal force by courts. But I mean, we're going to loop on this a lot, but I think maybe I want to see if you agree with this. If we don't cede that, the idea that he probably should have gotten charged with something, by saying he's not guilty of murder, you're kind of spreading this message of like, oh, he's completely innocent, because there was this narrative to try to paint him as innocent, right? They had a lot of like GoFundMe's for his bail. There are a lot of people that said like the jury was unfair, and that might have been true, right? Like there were no black people on the jury, but there was a lot of people being filmed outside saying, like he should go free. Well, we're not allowed to defend ourselves, and I think when you do this, what we're doing is we're driving people into these like racist narratives where they're like, well, this guy's at least saying that he did something wrong. And so if you and me can't say, yeah, this kid should have gone to jail for something, then they all go to those people as like, well, at least they're telling the truth. And then they get this like racist, white supremacist narrative where they're trying to paint black people as like this, I don't know, what you were talking about, where it's like, oh, they're bad kids, they're raised in this bad neighborhood, and they're, you know, that's why they go around and they just stab people willy-nilly and they get off free, even though he was charged probably more than you and I think he should be. So would you at least agree that, like, if we can't at least admit that something bad happened here, we are letting those people run away with the narrative?
Well, something bad happened when a teenager dies. Regardless of the matter, something bad happens. I don't think Carmelo Anthony behaved perfectly, but perfectly doesn't warrant the sentence. In a perfect world, he would have had the maturity level of a 35-year-old and the emotional constancy of someone who's 35
in a perfect
years
world,
old.
he would have been the emotional maturity of a 35-year-old, like Def Noodles, who would reach across the table and try to beat this guy up.
You know what? I'm going to just walk away from the situation. They're telling me to leave the tent. Even though I feel like I'm getting bullied, I'm just going to walk away right now. But because he didn't behave perfectly, it doesn't warrant the sentence. It doesn't warrant what happened. It doesn't prove intent. It doesn't prove murder. So what I would say to that, you also have to factor in stature. So again, if someone was in here and they grabbed me and that person is, say, 6'8", 300 pounds, I'm not going to fight you. I'm a 4th-degree black belt. I've been doing martial arts for 20 years. I'm not fighting that person. They would more than likely get stabbed.
By the way, these two guys are really cool. They were just doing this like, oh yeah, he's like a black conservative, but he's, you know, a lot more chill and not as racist. He's not like Jesse Lee Peterson level. He comes in here and he's like, they're just having their little bro moment before the debate. Like, yeah, if what do you think a karate guy could beat like a jujitsu guy? Nah, man, jujitsu guy could totally beat a boxing guy. So
my whole thing is, as a martial arts instructor,
yeah, he has not answered my question at all.
Someone who teaches self-defense. I teach all my students, don't ever touch someone first. Don't ever do that. Don't ever hit someone. People could talk, people can threaten. If someone invades your space or they're threatening the life of you or someone else, or they touch you, you have the right to defend yourself. And you could defend yourself very harshly. Like, because I know if you touch me, that's why I hope no one ever touches me. Because if I don't have a weapon on me, you still may end up dead. Like, I find, I don't know where my mind will go if you touch me and assault me. That's why I'm luckily I've never had to use it, and I don't use it. I let people talk. So I've had people who are drunk like, yeah, man, I'll kick your butt and all of that. I laugh. Yeah. You sure will.
Last kind of quick minute, and then we'll move into closers, okay?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, so if, I guess you obviously say these aren't comparable, but had Anthony, like, pulled a gun out and shot him, because, don't get me wrong, I think you and I agree, he was pretty fucking scared. He's surrounded by these giant football-playing teenagers. There's probably a good argument that these kids were racist, given the fact of what his dad has said after the fact with the whole, you know, racial watermelon felon, I think he said, which is like, yeah, okay, this guy probably didn't raise the best kids. Would that somehow justify that, if using that lethal force?
If he would have had a gun on him, first he would have been committing a crime, so he would be causing
Let's say it was a legal
the commission of a felony. You can't have a gun. No one, unless if you're not law enforcement, it is illegal in America to have a gun on a high school campus.
Okay, well, let's just assume it wasn't. I'm just saying, like, in the same situation, let's say it's like in a place where you had like a concealed carry permit, right?
Well, he can't at 17.
Okay, hypothetically, let's say he did. Would this be justified? Let's say it was legal to have the gun, but would it be justifiable for him to pull that gun out and shoot him because that guy said, you need to leave? He said no, stood his ground, and shot this guy.
Where? Like, for example, because Florida,
Where does he shoot him? That's not how it works. It's lethal force. It's a gun. It wouldn't be justified. He doesn't understand how lethal force works. It's unfortunate.
This is perfectly
Let's say
legal.
it's still in Texas.
So, we could look at the stand your ground law. There, I have the data. If we have time to look through the similarities between Texas stand your ground and Florida stand your ground, because Texas has a stand your ground.
Yeah, I went into this to trying to agree with him as much as possible, Bradley. I really was not trying to be on the wrong side of the conservative debate, but you know, I did my best.
But just in that case, if we're just going to look at high school kids, I don't think if someone puts your hand on you in that
location. Oh. I don't know if he did, considering he's like, well, he stabbed him. Where does he stab him? And he only stabs him once. I'm not quite so sure he meant location. I think you're being a little too charitable with that
type of setting. I don't think you should shoot them. No.
Sure. And so
that would be a crime. Like,
why is
a
that?
Gun.
Why is that? What, say 20% difference in fatalities?
It's over 25%.
No, so yeah, 25% for the gun. You said 5% for the stabs. Why is that 20% difference enough? Is that's all it takes for, it's like, okay, this is too much force now? Okay. Wait, you're saying that would be?
Yeah, it's a gun.
Right.
They're not. It's a logical fallacy in the mortality rate.
I'm trying to see, like, where do you draw the line where apparently 25% fatalities from gunshot wounds is enough, but 5% from stabbings isn't. But even though both
You're
of
talking
these,
about what, high school kids?
no, I'm just talking about whether or not it's lethal force, right? Both of these have an over 70% fatality
Event
rate, but you
location?
say no.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm not being charitable enough to him, but like I'm like really trying to be nice to this guy. Like, guys, where do you draw your line? All right. If 1 in 3 people die from this event, is that enough for you to consider it lethal force? What if it was 90%? Like, is 5% enough? Like, if I did anything to anyone and they had a 1 in 100 chance of dying, I think that would be pretty indicative. That's like, yeah, this is pretty dangerous.
They have an over 70%.
Excuse me, a 70% survival rate, right? Both of these things. But because there's a 20% discrepancy between the shootings and the stabbings are not lethal force.
Not 20%.
It's
over 25% difference.
25% from the shootings, 5% you said from the stabbings.
So 33% die from gunshot wounds.
Okay, excuse me, 28%.
And 7.7% die from stabbings.
Okay, 26%.
Okay.
So this 26% discrepancy is enough to say, well, gunshots are lethal force, but stabbings aren't.
No, they're both can be lethal force.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So the survival rate doesn't matter.
No, the survival rate does matter, but they're both
Patrick Wallet meme. Ah.
both are lethal force.
Okay.
Like they both are lethal weapons.
Right. So lethal force can cause bodily harm that can result in death, and that's why it's murder from that second statute.
I have to intend to murder you.
Yes, by using the lethal force. Yes.
You're not proving it. Like that's what I'm saying. His actions before, during, and after doesn't prove he intended to kill him. He didn't intend to cause the death. He intended to get him off him. That's what it proves.
All you have to prove is that he intended to cause bodily harm, serious bodily harm that can result in death, which is stabbing.
No, clearly dangerous to human life.
This is like I should have just did this from the beginning. Maybe you would have got it. You need to prove that he did something that can cause serious bodily harm, not necessarily will cause bodily harm, but cause bodily harm. Stabbing can cause bodily harm. And if you do something, intend to do something that can cause bodily harm, like stabbing, and it results in a death, you get charged under that second statute. That's what should have happened to him. Might be a spicy take. I'm not sure an ethnic supremacist deserves much charity. I don't know how much this guy's like actually a black supremacist. Maybe we'll get into it when we see these other people talk, but he's like black supremacist so far, based on my knowledge. He's black supremacist in like the black girl magic, like black excellence kind of black supremacist, not, oh, like black people are better than white people kind of black supremacist. But I could be proven wrong. We'll see.
Stabbing is clearly dangerous to human life.
No.
Yeah, I think we're mixing up intention. So intention would be like the action of like picking up a knife and projecting it towards
it says intent to cause serious bodily injury. You can't prove he intended to cause serious bodily injury.
He intended to stab him. That's a serious bodily injury.
No, it's not.
Why not?
He intended to put a knife on him. That doesn't mean he intended to cause serious bodily injury.
Okay, so the way this works is what is considered a objective reasonable standard. Objective reasonable standard is stabbing someone is a serious bodily injury. Just because, unless you missed, then it's like, okay, maybe he intended to and missed, but you would have to show that, oh, that's why he only grazed his toe or like, nicked him in the shoulder and not stabbed him in the chest. That is serious bodily injury. So and it clearly was because he died.
So how do we know he didn't intend to cut him?
Well, we don't.
But
that's why you have to prove that he didn't.
We are starting to loop, gentlemen, and out of respect for everybody's time, let's go ahead and give some.
They say out of respect for everyone's time. I think they have this one guy on for like an hour, just because it's like it was so good. I don't remember it being that good.
Closers. So if you want to give a quick closer, and
that's true. I say thank you to him and shake his hand, but I do not thank. I don't know if he's a Yakubian. I don't thank Yakub for creating white people.
Give it back to Dr.
Yeah,
James.
I appreciate the conversation. I think you're a little confused on that second statute, but regardless, I think we agree he should not have been sentenced to 35 years. I think if you look at all the circumstances, this was a scared kid who got a little out of hand. If he was more mature, maybe he wouldn't have escalated, but he does not deserve to have his whole life ruined for 35 years. You'd probably go, I think 2 to 5. And like maybe with some plea deal. And I think it's important for both of us to acknowledge like this is a bad thing that he did. He does deserve some punishment. It sucks that this has been racialized, and it sucks that this is in the context of like the black community getting just smeared all over the time for every Black Lives Matter case. And so I get the reaction that people have, and I just think we have to be cool and level-headed, look at the objective evidence, and not cede that ground to racist right-wingers who are trying to turn this into like a race-baiting case. But I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, thank you. So, we agree he should, the 35 years for murder is just not right. Again, to me, intention to cause serious bodily injury and commit an act clearly dangerous to human life. His actions before, during, and after don't prove that. They prove that he intended to defend himself. Again, when you pull a knife and you react quickly in a split second, which what this was, you can say that this person, maybe they intended to cut him, maybe intended to, graze him, whatever, scare him. But the action was so quick that he had that type of reaction. So I don't think anyone can prove based
Also,
on the evidence that he intended
the action
to cause
wasn't
the death.
that quick, unfortunately. He had his hand on the knife for quite a while and was like, try me, try me, try me. So
Voice of Metcalf, and that's where my claim comes from.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Shake hands, get up, and walk away. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end, guys. Please hit like and subscribe.
that's not the end, Sean.
It helps us grow the show and helps us get bigger guests. Thank you so much.
Sean, I'll forgive you if you rename this and you start having more constructive conversations. But I'm not a conservative. I got to do the Jordan Peterson. I'm not a Catholic, or what was it? Like, they had to rename it. They renamed the Tim Pool one too. There's not even a plurality of black folks promoting supremacy. It's a white thing. We've been doing it since we needed a reason to keep people at each other's throats. Oh, we as in white people. All right, gotcha. Real quick. Okay, looking at Wikipedia for this, apparently Metcalf is extremely racist. This came out a couple days ago, like after I already had this conversation. So this is kept out of the trial. Carmel Anthony was spoiling for a fight, and the victim sprayed racist graffiti. So like there were two things kept out of this trial. There was evidence on the Carmelo side. There's evidence on the Metcalf side. Both of those, I feel like, should have been relevant. But let's see. Carmelo Anthony allegedly was spoiling for a fight the day he fatally stabbed Austin Metcalf at a Frisco high school track meet. And Metcalf had a history of getting into fights and once sprayed graffiti with vile racist stuff. Those were among the assertions made by Bill Wiersky, the lead prosecutor in the case, at a hearing Thursday, but none of that came to light during the trial in June. Under the tent, the defense and prosecution, Wiersky said, agreed to focus on what happened the day of the track meet under the Memorial High School tent and not bring up prior behavior or character. Anthony's new attorney, appellate attorney Russell Wilson argues in the motion for a new trial, his right to a public trial was violated by the lack of access to the courtroom and an off-the-record agreement between the attorneys on both sides of the case. Interesting. This off-the-record agreement, Wilson argued, coerced Anthony to waive his right to testify and denied him a complete defense, violating his constitutional rights. I don't know that I've seen a murder case with this much off-the-record stuff, he told a judge on Thursday. Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison in June for the killing of 17-year-old Metcalf at the track meet. He was also 17 at the time. Wiersky and Wilson presented their arguments to visiting judge Michael Chitty from Kaufman County in the hearing on Thursday for the defense's motion for a new trial. Mike Howard, Anthony's trial lawyer, also testified. Anthony's arrest, trial, and murder conviction has drawn national attention over issues of race. He's black, Metcalf is white. Many posts on social media have racist undertones. Yeah, that's the reason we know about it. All right, here's the additional information. Carmelo Anthony's girlfriend, told an assistant at the high school that she was scared of him and he wouldn't take no for an answer less than 2 hours before he fatally stabbed Metcalf. Text messages on the phone revealed a documented pattern of an obsession with guns, knives, and fighting. Metcalf also had a history of getting into fights and had sprayed graffiti with vile racist stuff. Okay, well, so Anthony has a documented pattern of being obsessed with like conflict. Metcalf was a vile, here we go. The graffiti they were accused of painting included KKK. I'm not even going to read this one out loud just in case. The N-word, HH, and an upside down cross. Jesus Christ. So this wasn't just like, okay, guys, if you had a camera and I thank God I did not have social media back then. But if you go back in high school and see some of the shit that I said just to be edgy as like a 14-year-old, there's some pretty bad stuff. Nothing close to this. Like there's a difference between an edgy joke among your friends and I'm going to spray paint the most vile racist thing on the wall. And keep in mind, these are the kids of the guy who called Carmelo Anthony a watermelon felon. So I'm not entirely sure, and I don't have proof of this, that the boys approached this boy in the tent, this young black boy in the tent, with no intention other than, hey, you're not supposed to be here. I think maybe they had some other motivation, but can't prove it. Howard also testified that Austin was taken into custody for an assault in 2018 when he was 10 years old. For 10 years. 10 years old and this kid's committing assault, shoving another student during capture the flag. Well, that doesn't seem that crazy. He's 10. What could he do? Howard said the agreement about keeping some information about them out of the trial wasn't in writing because there were concerns about being leaked. So this was like this weird mutually assured destruction. Like both of these pieces of evidence make the other side look terrible. Let's agree behind the scenes to keep it out of the case. This is wild. We were all worried one of these racists were going to come into town to take his life. Valid. Anthony didn't testify on his own behalf. Howard said Anthony chose not to take the stand after a heated argument between Howard and Werski over the agreement. All right. I was absolutely shocked that that could be their stance, given the plain meaning of what under the tent means. Anthony's prior bad acts, Werski said, weren't brought up during the punishment phase, keeping their agreement in place. If I hadn't honored the deal, punishment would have looked quite a bit different. Might have been punished worse. So yeah, obviously this gets brought up by all the racists, and they're like, he should have gotten life. He should have gotten the death penalty. I still think he should have gotten 2 to 20 years. But anyway, let's see what Ethan had to say. Ethan, the other lib. Doing this at 1.5 times speed. Otherwise, I don't know if we're going to watch this whole video, but we are. I can't sit through this in real time. In fact, in real time, I couldn't sit through this in real time because I was like, he's just going to make the same arguments as me probably. And I started talking to Sean. So.
Dr. James, I think the conversation that you and Soy had, it highlights a lot of the same things that I have, but maybe we can get this down through like deduction to, I guess, kind of prove where me and my buddy are coming from on why it seems to be the case he did intentionally do this. So we both
called me his buddy. I love you too, Ethan.
agree. Knives are deadly weapons, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, by virtue of being a deadly weapon, right? A deadly weapon causes serious bodily injury and are clearly dangerous to human life, right?
They can do that, yes.
Right. Now, if I tend to use that, especially in its most common method, so for example, like I
can tell I didn't hear the whole Ethan thing. This is going to be the Patrick Wallet meme. Again, it's like, you agree that knives are deadly weapons. Yes. You agree that a knife that is a deadly weapon is something that can cause serious bodily harm. Yes. You agree that the second statute under 1902 is that if you would cause serious bodily harm and they die, that it's murder. Yes. Okay, so he committed murder. No. Fuck.
Like a gun, and maybe I want to like hit you with it. Maybe it won't kill you, but like there's a difference between if I hit you with it versus if I shoot you with it. The way you use it clearly matters, whether or not are you using it in a deadly format. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, the way you use it.
Now, if I stab somebody, which I believe you said the percent was about like 5% of killing somebody via stabbings.
Yes.
Isn't 5% when we're risking a human life? Isn't that of great significant?
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad he did this because I didn't. It's like, yeah, if you have a 1 in 20 chance of dying, isn't that like a big fucking deal? Like that's still lethal force. But it's also interesting. He brings up it's the way you use it, right? Like if I bash you in the chest with the handle of a knife, and you died from that, you might not even get charged with that. It's like, well, holy shit. I'm just like trying to get him off of me. I'm not even stabbing him. I'm bashing him with the handle. And he like had a heart attack because he got scared. Like, yeah, that's very different. It depends on the way you use it.
Damage to a person.
No, because 95%, that means 95% chance they're going to live.
So
I wouldn't say that's great significance, no.
So if you were to like potentially walk into like a room and there's a 5% chance of you dying, there's not a great significant chance of you dying.
What's the reward of me walking in the room?
The reward of you walking in the room?
I love this guy could understand hypotheticals, but he's like, it's like he needs to complete them. It's like, if you walked into a room, you have a 1 in 20 chance of dying. Would you do it? He's like, well, I don't know. What's in the room? Is there like a fun game I could play?
Doesn't matter.
See, in life we deal with risk versus reward. If there's a chance of me dying going in the room, then there has to be a reason I'm going into it.
Now, for the hypothetical, it doesn't matter because the only variable that we're isolating for is it a danger to your life to a significant degree? That's the only variable we're isolating for.
Yeah, but we don't take unnecessary risk. If there's a 1% chance, if there's a 0.01% chance of me dying doing something and I'm doing it for no reason, I wouldn't do that either because there's still a chance.
Yeah, but there's one thing for it to be a chance. For example, there's a chance that when we drive, we may get into a car crash and die, and that'd be tragic. And it happens.
Hey, DAZ Euro, what's up? You're a patron and you're on Twitch. I'm happy that I have got my 10 little Twitch people. Guys, YouTubers, if you go sub to my Twitch, the more subs I get, the closer I can get to monetizing. And although it does matter that I want money, I can't do the little yappy soy emotes in YouTube, and I want to add them to the Twitch stream, and I can't do that till I have enough subs. So go sub.
Every day.
Yeah.
However, there's also a difference between when you stab somebody and now you've got a 5% chance of someone dying because of that. So with that in mind, is 5%, like if there's a 5% chance that you could get into like a car crash and then die every time you drove, you probably would never drive, right?
Well, I think it's higher than that. I think the percentage of
It's not higher than that. There's not a 5% chance you die every time you drive.
I don't know the percentage.
It's not. I guarantee.
But-
If it was 5%, there would be car accidents everywhere because you see dozens of cars every day.
No, I'm talking about once you're in a car accident. Like, I want to know the percentage of victims who die in car accidents. But when I drive, I'm driving for a reason. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but I'm talking about if you drive at all.
Yeah.
Every person who gets into a car crash, okay, they are first driving. That's the first
Oh,
prerequisite.
subs
right?
cost money? Excuse me. Follows. You don't have to sub.
Now, if there's a 5% chance that you may get into a car crash and then
Yeah,
die,
can you tell I don't use Twitch? Guys, everyone go do a tier 1 sub. I think it's free, right?
just by virtue of driving somewhere, you would never drive, right?
No, I would if I have a reason to drive. If I have
If there's a 1 in 20 chance that every time you put your key in your car and turn the key, your car would explode, would you get in your car? Well, if I have somewhere to go. No, you would never do this. You would never fucking do it. Unless your like wife was in labor, maybe.
to drive to make a living, for example. So then that 5% would be worth the reward, the risk versus reward. It's a
I have to
5%.
drive to make a living, buddy. Like within a month, you die. You die.
Chance of me dying, but I have to drive to provide for my family. So I would.
I mean, in theory, you could just like bike, right?
No, depending on where you work and the commute.
At least like it's like, okay, you understand hypotheticals, but you can't like just accept it on its face. It's like, well, hold on, what's going on here? Like, explain this more. Bike. What if I live where there's a highway? It's like, no, I'm just saying you would die if you got in the car. What's my take on the David Mauricio? Is that how you pronounce his name? Is he Italian? I thought he was Jewish too. Versus Hassan stuff. Thank you for the $5. My take is that I think it's pearl clutchy. I think David's pearl clutching. David is like part of Unfuck America. This is the tour that we did where we sing the Charlie Kirk song, where we make little Charlie Kirk lighters, where we like post funny Charlie Kirk memes. And he's like, oh, Hassan, you can't sing the song. And it's like, that's what we do. It's like, oh, but you're too big and Republicans will use this as ammo. It's like, I don't buy that argument. You post Charlie Kirk memes. I post Charlie Kirk memes. If you were a big fucking streamer, you would do it too. You wouldn't stop because you're like, oh, I'm too big now. My platform, it's irresponsible. I just think it's silly that they're going after him for that. There's plenty of stuff you can go after him for. I think singing the Charlie Kirk song is not it.
You can just get like a different job.
It's not that easy to always get a different job. And you see our economy right now?
So you're telling
the jobs that you
wait,
can get and affordable to you.
You're telling me that you would risk your life. Well, remember, when we're driving, we have to drive to and from work.
This is Dr. Will James. You can find him on this video. His links are in the description. He's on Instagram as well, I think.
Telling me that you're actually gambling because you're doing it twice.
Yeah.
You're doubling your chances.
Right.
You are literally having a 10% chance of you dying every time you go to work by agreeing to this hypothetical, which I think every person would disagree with.
They could disagree. To provide for my family, I would take that.
Actually, Ethan, you would not have a 10% chance. You're not adding 5 plus 5. You don't have a 100% chance of getting a heads if you flip a coin twice. You would have a 1 in 20 times 1 in 20 chance of dying. Plus 1 in 20? Wait. Oh, shit. Now I'm stupid. Wait, I'm bad at stats. If there's a 1 in 20 chance you die, what are the odds you die if you do it twice? Isn't it just 1 in 20 squared? Someone help me out here. I feel so stupid. I'm on stream, so like the math isn't mathing in my head, even though this is just like simple stats. What are the odds you get heads 1 time? 1 and 2. What are the odds you get heads 1 time if you do it? Oh no, that would be if you died 2 times. Excuse me. Right. So if you died both times, that would be 1 in 400. So it's less than 120. Yeah. I'm stupid. Okay. What are the odds it happens once if you flip the coin twice? Oh my God. Why can't I? I never took stats in school. I feel so stupid. What are the odds you get heads once and 2 flips is 1 in 4, right? Because you could either, the 4 outcomes are, no. Oh, sorry. 2 heads, 1 heads, 1 tails, 2 tails, 1 heads, 1 tails. But it flipped the other direction. So it's 3 and 4. So if you flip a coin twice, there's a 3 out of 4 chance, 75% chance you get heads once. What's the formula? No, it's not always 1/2. God damn it. Someone's gonna clip this. It's like soy pill aerospace engineer fucking can't do basic fucking probability. No, okay. The formula is not what are the odds of it happening both times. It's if you have a 5% chance of it happening every time it happens, what are the odds of it happening once if you do it twice? So 1 in 20 for the first time, 1 in 20 for the second time. The odds of it happening both times. Do I need a fucking Punnett square? Not a Punnett square, but like a grid. Hold on. All right. Last thing. I'm going to take a deep breath and word this out. Okay. If you drive 20 times, no, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. There are 19 cases where you don't die and 1 where you do. And then the second time you do it, there are 19 cases where you don't die and 1 time you do. So the odds of you dying, if you do it twice, are 2 out of 40, which is still 1 in 20. You still have a 5% chance of dying. So Ethan said 10%. That was wrong. Okay, we're done.
Risk, yes.
Now, take that risk instead of like doing some other thing, right? Because the whole point of this is I'm trying to establish is when there's a 5% chance of you doing something for something as valuable as human life.
You got me.
5% is an
Wait, okay, no, I got to double check this. Probability calculator for multiple events. Oh, I feel so stupid. Okay. Here we go. This was always my weak suit in math. I could do fucking surface integrals. I could do fucking all sorts of shit, but probability always killed me. Okay, 2 events. Probability of A, 5%. Probability of B, 5%. Probability of A and B is 25%. No, I don't want A and B both occurring. I said at least A or at least B is 10%, 9.75. Oh my God. It's 1 minus 0.95 squared. That seems right. Is that what that is? 1 minus 0.95 squared? Now I got to bring up the calculator. 1.95 times 0.95. Oh, I've got the shitty calculator. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, it's the probability 100. It's 100% minus the probability of it not happening times the probability of it not happening. So it's 9.75%. Okay, so it was not 5%. God damn it. I was always so bad at this. It's just so not intuitive to me. Meanwhile, over here doing crazy rocket calculations, I can't fucking do 2 coin flips.
Whatever the case may be, right? I would find some other alternative to risking my life every time if there's a 5% chance I engage with whatever this hypothetical is. But you're agreeing to this. I don't understand.
You're saying, all right, so if I...
Wait, okay, now I'm really interested. Sorry, guys. I got to go back to the probability calculator. So let's see. I want to work backwards now. What are the chances? Let's say it's like, how many times would you have to do it before it becomes a 90% chance it happens? So if we do this, oh, wow, we can't even go past. So if we did it 5 times, let's try to do the math in my head. If you did it 5 times, what are the odds of it happening? It would be 1 minus 0.95 to the 5th, right? Am I going to get this right? Let's see. That seems like it's, oh, no. Not all occurring. At least one event occurring. 22% chance. So I take a calculator. I do 0.95 to the 5th. No, not square root. 0.95 times 0.952 times 0.95. I don't have the scientific one out. Sorry, guys. Times 0.95 is 23%. Okay. All right, cool. All right. I learned. I got it. Okay. So if you did it 5 times, it would do that. So then, okay, now, oh, all right, wow, go on. Now, I haven't been in school for so long. I'm learning so many things. Now I can bring up the paint. So we know, not even looking at this fucking video. How do I bring up paint? Window. Here we go. Okay. So we know the formula is the probability of it happening. Can I see my screen? Yeah, okay. Is 1 minus the probability of it not happening. Let's call that Pn. So that's probability n is not happening. To the number of events. So if it's never going to be like 100%, right? Because this is asymptotic. I don't think you could ever get 1, no matter how many times you squared 0.95. But let's see if I wanted to know how many times would I have to drive my car if I have a 1 in 20 chance of it exploding before I have a 50% chance of dying? So 1 minus 0.95 to the number of times. So this is x, let's call this x half equals 0.5. So that would mean that 0.5 is going to equal 0.95 to the x half. Wow, we're really just doing a math stream now. And then this is, you got to do logs to get rid of this one, right? So How does this work again? Log A of B equals C. So it would be A to the C equals B. I'm trying to remember my logs. A to the C equals B. It would be X is going to equal log A of B equals C. Log A of B, A to the C. Log A of B is 0.955, like that. Is that right? Take the log of both sides. Hold on. Log rules. Math. So we took the log of both sides. You'd have X times log of 0.95. Yep, okay, I got it right. All right. I remember math. All right, so now how many times? Let's see. Log calculator. Boring math stream. Base 0.95. Number 0.5. Calculate. If you drove, so X equals 13.5 times. So all of this to say, if you have a 1 in 20 chance of exploding or a 5% chance of exploding every time you got in your car and you drove 14 times, you would have a 50% chance of dying. All right, cool. Math done. Let's go back to this. Just wanted to see. And you would never drive, Mr. Dr. Will James. After 14 times, you'd have a 1 in 2 chance of being dead.
5% isn't high enough for the reward of me being able to provide for myself and my family. 5% isn't high enough. So, but if there was an option to where I could still provide for my family, and let's say an option was 1% more, the chance would happen.
Right.
Then yeah, I would take option B if it were possible. But it's not always possible, especially with like commuting to work. Some people take the train, some people take the bus because that's their only available option. Some people drive because that's their option. It's like not everyone lives close enough to work to bike or walk.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so then in this example, then let's say there's a 0.001% chance on a different hypothetical, right? So you get your 5%, and then for a different one, maybe you bike every day instead. You'd obviously pick the bike because you don't want to risk a 5% chance, because that is an insane amount, right?
You're saying it's possible for me to bike to work.
Sure, yeah. There's
If
an
it's
alternative.
possible.
Like, yes, obviously it's possible to bike in this scenario, please.
If it's close enough where I am not jeopardizing my quality of life,
Chance of first time happening plus P first time. I'm not even going to read this. I'm done. We're done with math.
I can get to work on time, leave on time, then yeah, bike.
Now, when we look at this situation, Carmelo had the choice of reaching in and then stabbing Austin or not stabbing Austin. What do you think is most likely to not yield in a death?
Not putting the multi-purpose tool that could be used as a lethal weapon on the person at all will be more likely for that person to survive.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So the knife, we've agreed it's a deadly weapon. Deadly weapons can cause serious bodily injury and are clearly a risk in virtue of them being a deadly weapon. And we also know that when Austin was approaching Carmelo, he was already reaching into it, right?
Excuse me?
He was already reaching into his bag when Austin was approaching Carmelo. This is correct, yes?
When he was approaching him?
Yeah, when Austin was approaching Carmelo.
Well, when he was talking to him, they said, I think...
No. This guy's not conservative. This guy's conservative. He's a black conservative. This guy's like black supremacist. But we're going to see how black supremacy is.
Witness testimony, before he even like grabbed him, his hand was like already in the bag.
Right, so he already had the intent.
Mikey the Vampire says, I can't believe there are actually people that can't imagine hypotheticals. Mikey, have you not heard of have you had breakfast this morning? This is like apparently a very common thing among prisoners who like just they can't conceptualize the hypothetical. It's like, how would you feel if you didn't have breakfast? And they're like, but I did have breakfast.
Intent to what?
Have the deadly weapon to use it, or to at least be ready for it, but yes.
He intended to use it?
Yeah, by virtue of having it ready.
Ben Riley, how's it going? Hi, I was summoned. Something about a math puzzle? No, I was just doing basic probability. Thank you for the $5.
No, I don't think he intended to use it if no one would have touched him.
Now, when we are talking about our risk to life, we already agreed that if we are going to do some action that could result in the death of a person, right?
Oh, real quick. I'm obligated because Ben Riley is here because he's a Spider-Man fan, if you couldn't tell. Brand New Day, very good. Can't decide if I like it better than the other Tom Holland ones. Definitely not as good as Raimi. Raimi's still the king, so.
What is the risk factor of Carmelo being a serious bodily injury to Austin such that it warrants a 5% chance to Austin's death?
Carmelo being a seriously bodily injury to Austin, the risk of Carmelo, or?
Yeah, I might have misspoken. What I'm saying is, what the proportionate force? It's in proportionate force. That's what I'm trying to establish.
You're saying the risk that Austin posed to Carmelo?
Yes.
But we don't know that. We don't know. We just know he's significantly bigger.
Okay. Now, when...
Guys, look at this. I should have been doing this the whole time. There we go. That's so much better. We're doing that next time.
For example, when Alex Preddy was killed, I think we probably agree that was a bad use of force by ICE. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Okay.
Is that the lady who was?
He was a man. This was in Minnesota, and it relates. It was abuse of force by the police.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the guy had touched a police officer, right? And then a bunch of awful things happened. He was jumped by other ICE officers, and then they basically did an execution of him, right? It was an absurd use of force. And he did touch the ICE officer, though. He did. But the use of force was not proportionate. And that's what I'm trying to say is the case here. Now, just because someone approaches you and maybe intimidating doesn't necessitate you doing a 5% chance of taking their life.
Can you move face cam to the middle of the screen? No. I can do that. But I don't want to do that. I want to do that.
Yeah, those are not comparable. Those are those are totally different cases to compare with the use of force.
Wait,
You want to try
how about
another?
this?
I mean, they both have the
Oh, no,
situation
that's
where
way
you
too
have
tiny.
an inappropriate use of force, right? Like, what are the chances of Carmelo, his life being at jeopardy,
Okay,
or
make it
him being at
bigger.
serious bodily injury, compared to the stabbing of Austin?
What are the chances of Carmelo being seriously bodily injured and the chances of the stabbing?
Yeah. What are the chances of Austin?
He's asking what the
Okay,
threat.
Ethan's just getting frustrated. I don't want to finish this. This is just like, all right, same Patrick Altman. We're just repeating. Let's watch Mr. Racist.
From here.
So, in preparing for this is a topic,
Oh
obviously.
wait, oh my god, I have to show this. This is Sean Mike Kelly's producer. This guy's fucking crazy, dude. Let me see if I can find his Instagram because you see this tattoo here? I'm like, oh, that's an interesting Star of David tattoo. He's like, yeah, I got it from neo-Nazis in jail. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, when I was in jail, so guy's been arrested. He was like networking his way through the different gangs as a lawyer. This guy's Jewish, by the way. So he like, gets arrested and like becomes like the jail lawyer, and like all the gangs, even the ones who apparently hate Jewish people, are like, oh yeah, you're the cool one, you help us out and like try to get us reduced sentences. So I'm like, this guy's fucking wild. But let me see if I can find his Instagram, because I think like half of his videos are just him getting arrested. Let me find this guy. What is his name? Crap. Oh, here we go. It's Jeremy. Yep, here we go. All right. So his name's Jeremy. Interesting guy. He's also one of those guys who's just like, first of all, super nice, but just like claim to know like everyone that I would bring up. And he might, because he's clearly good at networking. But just very interesting that it's like, are you sure you know all these people? Let's see. Is this it? Woken up at 2 a.m., cuffed up, stayed stable. Multiple arrests, 2009 to 2019. Back to max for 6 months. I'm upset, but stable and focused. Also super jacked. I don't want to be accused of sicking your audience. No, this guy's nice. This is a really nice guy. I really like this guy. Don't go like flame this guy. Like, he's done a great job. Jesus Christ, that guy's huge. Fuck, I didn't catch it. I wish Instagram had like a scroll. Oh my God. Jesus. This guy's wild. Let me read this caption. At 2 a.m., police woke me up in my penthouse, cuffed me, and took me back to maximum security prison. Most people panic and get loud. Watch my posture. Watch my breathing. Watch my decisions. I wasn't trying to win the moment. I was protecting the next one. Pressure doesn't care who's right. It doesn't reward the loudest voice. It rewards the person who stays stable long enough to see an opportunity that everyone else destroys with emotion. 6 months later, the alleged parole violation was rejected, and I walked back out. Looking back, I'm grateful, because prison didn't teach me how to survive. It taught me how to perform under consequence. That's a skill that rebuilt every part of my life. Whether life puts you in a penthouse or a prison cell, your standards can't change. Hydrate, train, sleep, think clearly, protect your relationships, choose the next move with precision. Pressure is either exposing your weakness or forging your greatest strength. The most attractive thing a man can be isn't fearless, it's stable. Because the man who stays calm under pressure is the man who earns the biggest opportunities when everyone else breaks. So, you can joke about this, like, oh, you're saying, he turned his arrest into like a good thing. Hey, he's a producer on a show. He knows a bunch of famous people. He seems to be doing pretty well for himself. So, joke all you want. Whatever he did, it worked. It's really funny though. Massive lump. He's the Hebrew hammer.
Preparing for this is a topic, obviously, people talk about a lot.
2 plates on a pull-up? Yeah, I used to be able to do that. Not anymore.
I did watch you on Jesse Lee Peters. Appreciate always being able to know about folks before it comes, so that way we can have a more engaged discussion.
Oh my God, he was on Jesse Lee Peterson. Pause this. That's going to be way more interesting. Jesse Lee Peterson, Dr. Will James. Do I sleep with the Pickle Rick? I don't. All right, we got to watch a little bit of this, guys. For those of you who don't know Ball, Jesse Lee Peterson is fantastic. Amazing. All right.
How many? He's an educator from New York and the author of a brand new book titled Black Supremacy. Dr. William James, thanks for being with me.
Pleasure to be here.
I do appreciate it. How many degrees do you have?
5.
You have 5 degrees?
5.
I thought I read that. Why do you? And what are they?
I have a degree in criminal justice, a degree in political science. I have a dual master's in secondary education and history, and my doctorate is in educational leadership.
Wow, you're educated up to
Oh, yeah, I
Yale.
didn't know he had that
Why
many.
do you have so
That's
many
crazy.
degrees?
I like to learn. I'm a philomath. I like to be educated. I like to do research. So I originally was going to go to law school after I finished my degree in criminal justice and political science. I was going to go to law school. You can't start law school mid-year, so I applied to get my master's degree in secondary education. Once I started that, I liked that, so I went to continue.
Whatever his haircut is here, he looks better.
Once I finished
I
my
think you should
master's,
go back to
I was 23, 24. I figured I might as well continue my education. Didn't want to switch topics. Didn't want to go back to law school now. So I just
Jesse Lee
went and got my doctorate
Peterson.
in
Should I go on
education.
Jesse Lee Peterson, guys? I should
And
ask.
why do you like learning so much?
I think education is the true answer to liberation. When people are educated properly, they can make a difference and they can change, the poor habits that have been.
All right, we're skipping to this part, guys.
And do you love the Jews?
I love the Jews. Yes,
you love
I am
white
a Jew.
Jews?
What do you mean by that?
The real Jews over in Israel.
The real Jews?
Yeah, do you love
the
them?
black Jews in Israel?
No.
The real Jews are
Well,
black.
there are some black Jews.
Oh,
in
okay.
Israel, but not
Is he
your
a
kind.
Hotep? Is that what that is? Oh, the ones that are like the Jewish, Hebrew, black Jewish, black Israelites. That's what they're called.
Kind of black. They're like the real Jews.
I'm a real Jew. What you mean?
Has he been holding his book up like that the whole time? They didn't give him like a table to put on. Jesus.
But do you love the white looking Jews?
The white look. Do I love all of them?
Yes.
I don't know all of them.
Do you love them?
But Jesse Lee Peterson, he always gets away with this. Do you love black people? Yeah, I guess I do. Or, well, I mean, I don't know all of them. Like I love people, but do you love black people?
I don't know all of them. What do you mean?
Do you love them?
Like, for example, I love the ones I know.
Do you love the white Jews? We'll call them white just to distinguish between the black Israelite and that.
I don't know
Do you
them.
love the white Jews?
The ones I know I love.
But the ones you don't know, you don't love?
Yeah, because I don't know them. That's like me asking you, do you love Joe Biden?
Yes.
You love Joe Biden?
I do.
Do you love Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
You love Adolf Hitler?
100%.
He was not prepared for that just instant yes. Wait, I want to watch that in real time.
You love Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
You love Adolf Hitler?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Do you love white people?
Yes.
White people? White people?
For example, I love the ones I know.
Do you love the white Jews? We'll call them white just to distinguish between the black Israelite and that.
I don't know
Do you
them.
love the white Jews?
The ones I know I love.
But the ones you don't know, you don't love?
Yeah, because I don't know them. That's like me asking you, do you love Joe Biden?
Yes.
You love Joe Biden?
I do.
Do you love Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
Do you love Adolf Hitler?
Just
100%.
instantly.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you love
Yes.
white people?
No hesitation.
Um,
You
yes.
can't stumble Jesse Lee Peterson. You can't do it.
You do love white people.
Right. My martial arts instructor is white.
But
My travel agent is
do
white.
you know all white people?
No, that's what I'm specifying right now.
And so why do you love all white people but you don't know them?
I don't love all white people.
But I asked you if you love white people, you said yes.
Yeah, because the white people I'm naming I love.
But you don't love all white people?
No, absolutely not.
Really? And does your God love all white people and all Jews?
God doesn't love all white people.
Your Israelite God doesn't love all white people?
No, he doesn't love all of everyone, no.
And why not?
If you read the Bible in Romans, it says that he hated Esau, so he didn't love everyone.
Jesse Lee Peterson's like, huh? Why not? Let's see. What else we got in here? Black supremacy. Let's see what his views are. Is he actually a black supremacist?
You have a book called Black Supremacy.
Right.
The 15 minutes into this conversation, he's been holding it up the whole time, and he's like, you have a book called Black Supremacy. It's like, yes, he's been holding it up in front of your fucking face, and you didn't give him a table to put it down on. Yes.
And what does that mean, black supremacy?
Black supremacy means that black people have supreme courage, supreme resilience.
Yeah, see,
No
okay,
people
so
on Facebook-
far, this is what I was saying. I don't think he's like a literal black supremacist in the same way white supremacists are. He's like, black girl magic, like black community, uplift the black community. It's what I'm getting so far.
To the planet have been oppressed more than black people, but no group of people have made more significant contributions historically than black people.
Really? And why nobody see it? You don't see it anywhere.
You don't see what?
Black historical accomplishments.
That's a part of the oppression and the hidden history. Not far from here, there's a guest you've had on your show, Tariq Nasheed.
Yes.
He has a museum called the Hidden History Museum, which is highlighting some of the accomplishments of black people.
I think Tariq Nasheed is like that super racist guy, right? I've heard this.
There aren't many in America because they want to hide the truth. That's the problem. And that's probably why he named the museum the Hidden History Museum. They hide the truth of black history.
And so if blacks are supreme, why they keep chasing white people and accusing them and asking for affirmative action and reparations and telling the white people, we want to be a part of your schools, we want to be a part of your everything, but you're going to have to lower the standards so that we don't have to worry about passing the test to get in and all that. Why don't black people go and just do their own thing rather than chasing white people if they are black supremacists?
Christ,
well, I talk about that in the book. Black people should have built our own institutions. We should have our own organizations, and we shouldn't chase after these.
But why don't they know they're superior?
Okay, maybe he is a black supremacist. He's like arguing for like segregation.
The black people who follow, I say that in the first page of the book, the black people who follow the teachings, the history, the actions of their ancestors that allowed them to be successful in the face of oppression, those are the supreme black people. The black people who are following after other groups of people, after other race of people, those aren't your black supremacists. Those aren't the people who are supreme.
Who are the supreme blacks?
The ones who follow the actions and behaviors.
Hey, I told you guys, Jesse Lee Peterson, he said blacks. That's how you know he's racist.
And history that allowed their ancestors to be successful. So Frederick Douglass was successful even though he was born a slave.
And where's Frederick now?
He's dead.
Oh, rest my case.
Benjamin
I'm
Banneker.
talking about now.
If Adolf Hitler was so supreme in the Aryan ways, why is he dead? Frederick Douglass is dead, buddy. What do you mean he's one of the Supremes? Oh, why were we watching that other thing? This is great.
People who are supreme.
Who are the supreme blacks?
The ones who follow the actions and behaviors and history that allowed their ancestors to be successful. So Frederick Douglass was successful even though he was born a slave.
And where's Frederick now?
He's dead.
Oh, rest my case.
Benjamin
I'm
Banneker.
talking about now. What's wrong with the blacks?
Well, I'm successful.
What's wrong with the blacks that they are
Yeah, he's
constantly
not dead,
complaining
Jesse. Contend with this.
about the white man and trying to keep up with him? And right now they're out of control as far as snatch and grab and robbing and stealing and raping and killing white people and breaking into stores and all that. If they're superior, why are they doing those things?
Those aren't the superior blacks.
Ooh, those are the inferior ones?
Yes, the ones who
And
do
why
stuff
don't
like
the
that.
superior one help the inferior one?
No,
We
it's
do.
getting to be a
we try.
Chris Rock,
Like how I do.
N-word
I
versus
educate
black
youth.
people skit.
None of my students would ever do anything like that.
Oh, they wouldn't?
No.
Amazing.
And I have hundreds of students.
Do you teach at a black Israelite school or something?
No, I teach at a New York
You
City
teach at a
public
normal school?
Right, if you want to call it normal. It's normally oppressive. But what you said, why we're asking for affirmative action is the only way to protect black people.
Why are they
In the
asking for
1950s and
affirmative action?
60s,
We don't
they
even
would
hear
prevent
make this
black
case.
people from,
How can you be ignorant and superior? How can black people be superior and not know? All right, well, we got to do this one.
So how come how could they be superior and didn't know it?
Because many don't know the truth. Like Deuteronomy 7:6 tells you that God has a chosen people. I know that I'm a part of those chosen people. If more black people knew that, then they would carry themselves like it.
So if they had read the Bible, they would have known that they were superior?
If they read it and understood it properly, yes.
They would have known they were superior. So
Right.
you can't know that you're superior unless you read the Bible?
No, you can know that.
No,
while
you
reading
can
the
read
Bible.
his
But why
book,
didn't they know it
Jesse.
They were ignorant.
But why though? If you're superior,
Systemic racism.
if you're smarter than the white
Systemic
people,
racism. So
and
you're talking
superior-
about in the 1940s and 50s.
I'm
right?
talking about this time when you said that the white people like keeping the
no.
black people out of the
Yeah,
school.
so staying with
falling
the
down.
White people
Oh,
keep
nigga.
staying with the time-
white people keeping black people out of the schools. Like, I think Jesse Peterson said like the KKK wasn't racist. They used to bring gifts to me or something like that.
timeline, we weren't far removed from slavery and Jim Crow. During the 1940s and 50s, we still had black people in slavery under peonage.
But I'm
One of the
black and I'm
people-
slow. I'm one of those slow and didn't
You're
know I
not
was
slow.
superior. But how can you be superior than everybody else and not know it?
I'm going to tell you. So one of the most famous slaves from the 1940s and 50s. We're talking about the 1940s and 50s. This lady was a slave. Her name is May Louise Miller. She was a slave in the 1950s and didn't even know that slavery was over, had been abolished.
But I'm asking you, how can you be superior?
Wait, I want to read about this. May Louise Miller? She was a slave in the 50s. Let's bring this up. Miller's father, Kane Wall, lost his promised farmland after he signed a contract that he could not read, which indebted him to a local plantation owner. The Wall family was forced to do field work and housework for several white families attending the same church on the Louisiana-Mississippi border. The Gordon family, the McDaniel family, and the Wall family, the latter of whom had been related as descendants of the Walls, likely owner, Drury William Wall Jr. What a slave name. Drury William Wall Jr., who owned 10 slaves in St. Helena, Louisiana in 1860. What is a peon? Oh, okay. Peonage. Okay. Peon owners used the violent coercion akin to that of slavery to force black people to work off imagined debt with unpaid labor. Peons could not leave their owner's land without permission, which made it impossible for them to pay their debt. So they're like indentured servants, but like even worse, and they're trapped on the land. Jesus Christ. And this was in the 50s? There was no legal documentation corroborating the atrocities, but her situation was hardly unique. White landowners used threats of violence, worked with law enforcement to keep people in peonage. Smithsonian Institution historian Pete Daniel noted that white people had the power to hold blacks down and hold blacks down, and they weren't afraid to use it, and they were brutal. May said that Wall's family world was confined from one plantation to the other. They trade you off, they come back and get you from one day to the next. Holy shit. You better not tell. So when we go like, guys, people alive today lived during Jim Crow. I mean, this person I think is dead now, right? Yeah, died 2014. But like up until 2014, it's like, guys, we had people alive today. Black people, no person alive lived in slavery. You ever heard of peonage, buddy? Apparently, we fucking still did it. Jesus Christ. That's insane. Well, unfortunate that we happened. By the way, I learned about slavery recently when I don't know if you guys remember the Fire Festival. I watched the Fire Festival documentary, and they made all these Haitian people work, overtime in the rain, putting up all these shitty tents for that like stupid music festival that never went anywhere, and they never paid them. They just worked for free for like a month and a half or 2 months, and then just are like, oh no, we don't have money to pay you. Fuck off. So they just had slavery. It's not as bad as this, where they're literally like indebting you and keeping you locked and confined to a plantation. Holy shit. When was I born? I was born in 1996, and they never taught me about peonage. So when I call someone a peon, is that a racial thing now?
And not know it to the rest of everybody else. Here you are fighting, trying to get into the white man's schools and to their businesses because you think you can see that their stuff is better than yours, right? But if you're superior, wouldn't you like naturally do superior things?
We do naturally do superior things.
Like break into white people's business?
No, like run the fastest, jump the highest, things like that.
No.
Usain Bolt. No one has ever run faster than him.
Animals do that. Animals
No, I'm
do
talking.
No one's ever run faster than Usain Bolt. Yeah, well, like I bet a cheetah could. God damn it. I gotta go on this show. He's so funny. Ben Riley, thank you for the $10. In debates, don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. Don't ask open-ended questions, leading questions only. Be prepared to go down any crazy branch of questions they answer to help your case. Sometimes I'm just curious, but I guess that's me being too good faith, and I shouldn't ask any questions. Yeah, this is the horseshoe of racism. Definitely. Black people are the best, and well, cheetahs are faster than black people.
About with people.
But you don't have to be superior to run fast. You just
If you run so faster than everyone else, you're superior.
But you really believe that black people are superior to the whites?
Look, no, you're saying something that's subjective. Objectively, no group of people, no race of people have been oppressed like black people and have made the significant contributions that black people have made. So when it comes to resilience and innovativeness, black people are superior. Objectively speaking, name a group of people who have been oppressed more than black people, then name a group of people who have made more inventions than black people.
Gamers.
The white people.
Really? Yeah. When were they oppressed more than us?
Even right now.
When were they oppressed more than us?
Right now, they've been oppressed for the last 70 years. 70? Yeah, the black people. So black people have been blaming them, taking their stuff, calling them racist.
That's not true.
Beating their children, calling it knockout games.
That's not true.
Robbing and raping their homes.
That's not
taking
true.
Their purses on the streets.
That's
telling
not
them if you disagree, you're a racist.
That's not true.
You don't know all that's happening?
No, not the way you're saying.
You got all those degrees, and you're not aware that is happening to the white man.
And it's happening to black people too.
No.
Knockout. They hit everybody when they play knockout.
With that. You got all those degrees, and you don't know that the things I just named are happening to white people.
Yeah, didn't they teach you about black crime stats class in your fucking political science?
The stuff you named are happening to more than just
No,
white
no, no.
people.
You asked me to name any group that's been more oppressed than black people, and I told you the whites, and it's happening right now. You
So
said
when
it's
you,
not happening,
but
right?
when you name the stuff, you can't name stuff that's also not happening to black people.
When
and
you
other
asked me
groups
who are
of people.
more depressed than the black,
All
I
right,
told you
so-
the whites.
no, but you named
white
stuff
people
that's
are
happening-
scared to speak up to the black.
You name stuff that's happening to us too. Black people are scared to speak up to whites and
they're
everyone.
not.
Yes,
No,
they are.
no, they're not.
Yeah, oh, yes, they are. At my school, I'm the only one who speaks up. When the people who are in charge of the school who are white, when they come in and say they want to hang up LGBTQIA flags around the whole school and stuff like that, I'm the only one who speaks up. The black people want to keep their job.
But white people are more afraid to speak up than any other race I ever
No,
seen.
they're not.
Yes, they are.
Black people
They're
are.
being attacked by everybody.
Black people
When are white people gonna get their turn, guys? I love Jesse Peterson's so funny.
I saw an ad that said something like, because I don't remember exactly how it went.
Like there's one thing to be like MAGA delusional. This is like you literally live in like bizarro world, and it's just fascinating. I can't even be mad at you.
Since 19 something, Jews have been attacked or something like that. Racist or hatred for the Jews have gone up, and then it added the Jews, hatred for the Jews, the blacks, the Muslims, and the Asian. They didn't put white people in it. They didn't talk about the hatred for white people that have gone up. But I still want to know, being all these degrees you have, why you didn't know that white people being suppressed and attacked more than any other race ever.
More than any other race ever. More than,
More than
That's
any
ridiculous.
other race
Because
ever.
even by your own knowledge of history, where they say black slaves came to the Americas in 1619, which black people were here before that. But from 1619 to the abolishment of slavery in 1865, that's 250 years right there. Where's the 250 years of oppression for white people?
Ever since I don't know if all that stuff you just said is true or not, but I'm back.
I don't know if slavery really happened, but look, ever since Donald Trump came and saved us, we had years before that where white people just had it so bad. You have no idea.
Make up stuff too. But
that's the white historical narrative point of view.
let me ask you something about, so say yes or no to me. Black people are superior to all other races, right?
Yes.
Yes, but they don't know it.
The majority?
Do they know that they are superior to all other races?
The majority don't know that.
So you could be superior over all other races and not know it.
How does this guy have a show? I'm sorry. Are you watching what I'm watching? This is great. This is fantastic. I'd pay money to go watch this show.
Right. If you don't
And who
know,
gave them that superiority?
it's God.
Who?
God.
Okay, he is a
like
black supremacist. He is just like black people are better.
God.
Your God. The same God.
Which one is that?
The God of the Bible.
Which one is that?
Of the Bible.
Which one is that? Though?
Yahweh.
Who?
Yahweh.
The hour?
Yahweh.
Who is Yahweh?
God. That's his name.
What the?
The Tetragrammaton?
Okay, but let me do this. You talked about Jim Crow law, right?
Right.
You said, huh? Does anyone get this reference? I ain't written on Bad and Bougie. You said I written on Bad and Bougie? Huh? You said the hour? Yahweh.
Were blacks
Yahweh.
suppressed during Jim Crow law?
Yes.
And were they superior to the whites during that time too?
Yes.
But they didn't know it.
No.
They had this hidden superiority and didn't know it.
Right.
Amazing. And so if blacks were suppressed during Jim Crow law, why were they doing better then than they are today?
Because of systemic racism that has a lot of black people caught up in the system.
No, I'm
Okay,
saying
so-
why were they doing better under Jim Crow law than they are now that white people are afraid of them and they can do whatever they want?
Well,
why were the
We gotta
blacks
go
doing
with
better
black women.
then?
I'm sure. Let's
than
see if
they
this
are-
guy.
black women
I've heard a lot of black supremacists are incredibly misogynistic. Let's see.
superior to?
The black woman what?
Superior to all the other women, other races of women?
By my definition?
No, yeah.
Yes.
They're superior to everybody else.
Yes, by my definition.
And so if black women are superior, why did they choose to accept the welfare check over the husband?
You're twisting it. They're
What do you mean?
superior when they operate with the actions that their ancestors operated with.
Right, but their ancestors, at that time, they were not getting a welfare check, they were getting husbands, right?
Exactly.
And so if they were superior, why did they choose the welfare check over the husband? The white man came along.
If black women are superior, why did they get welfare? Is the current status of the debate for those of you just joining us?
Say, here's a welfare check, but you can't have a husband. Why did this black superior woman decide, you know, a welfare check is better than a husband?
Ignorance.
Oh,
We're
so
back
the
at
sup-
ignorance.
So the superior
Exactly.
woman was ignorant?
Exactly.
She didn't know she was superior?
You're not going to act in a way that allows you to be superior when you're ignorant.
So she didn't know she
So
was
this is weird. He's like, black people are superior if they apply themselves. Otherwise, they are like not superior because they're ignorant. So they're not inherently superior. They just have the capacity to be more superior. It's an interesting supremacist argument.
superior?
No.
And so she chose the welfare check over the husband.
Right, because she didn't know what best served the black community.
And the black husband didn't know he was superior.
Well, it depends on who you're talking
Back
about.
then, he
It's
didn't
wild how they're basically different sides of the same coin, and now they're face to face. They still think the other's wrong. It kind of. Well, no, Jesse Lee Peterson's like a white supremacist, so like.
know he was superior.
It depends on which one you're talking about. Not all black men left.
Those that didn't leave, they didn't know they were superior.
No, the ones who know act in a way that serves their community
No
best.
true superior. That's
You got
what we're
all those
getting here.
degrees, and this makes sense to you.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense. Did you read the book?
Let me ask.
Exactly.
Did you know that it wasn't a white man that did that? It was the civil rights movement. Black people
That did what?
told black people that, you know what, you're being oppressed. You need some free stuff. You need welfare tax. You need to become Democrats, and we're going to be your leaders.
It wasn't
because at that time more black people were Republicans rather than Democrats, right? And so Martin Luther King and all those guys came along with their little civil rights movement, which was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks. You would agree with that,
Basically,
right?
black people are just unactivated sleeper agents to Dr. Will. Yeah, as soon as they hear the right, as soon as Ben Shapiro goes on YouTube and it's like, black people, all you need to do is get married and don't go on welfare. They like their eyes light up and they're like, orders received, and they become superior. So
The civil rights movement?
Yeah. It was the worst thing that ever happened to the black other than abortion.
A part of the civil rights movement that I don't.
hey, collapitalism, how's it going? Yeah, you got me to the like. I was on R all because of your fucking stupid. Yeah, for the record, collapitalism. If you want to call someone a house N-word, Jesse Lee Peterson is far more on that spectrum, considering his like literal white supremacy. But you can't be a mod and be spicy. You get to pick one. All right.
Agree with, which Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. later recanted, was I don't agree with desegregation. I believe that was harmful.
Do you believe that the civil rights movement was the worst thing that ever happened to blacks in the history of black people,
No.
other than abortion?
So you would say it's worse than slavery?
Yes.
And that makes
Wait,
sense.
Jesse Peterson thinks the civil rights movement is worse than slavery for black people. All right, let's see here.
To you?
Yes. 100% makes sense.
So-
which makes sense, to kill the man's baby in the womb or to be enslaved physically?
I don't agree with abortion.
Which makes sense, which one is worse, to kill the man's baby in the womb or to be enslaved physically?
They're both just as harmful.
Which is worse?
Who said one was worse?
Oh wait, hold on. I'm on Jesse Lee Peterson's side. You got to pick one. What's worse, having an abortion, or enslaving a human being for their whole life? I don't know. Probably slavery.
Which is worse, to kill the man's baby in the womb or to be enslaved physically?
Who said one was worse? They're the same.
I'm asking, which is worse?
I don't think one is worse. I think they're both terrible.
But I know they are.
Both of them deplete the black community.
But which one is worse?
That's like, which shoe is better, your right shoe or your left shoe?
So killing a man baby in the womb and being enslaved are both the same to you physically?
They're not the same physically. Physically,
I said being
I
enslaved.
think the torture is worse
I said
physically.
being enslaved physically and being an innocent child in the
So one is worse.
womb. They both are the same to you?
No, physically being born and being in a womb are not the same thing. As far as depletion of the black community, they're equal. If you continue to kill black babies, there would be no black people. If you enslave black people and you torture them and you tell them that they're inferior and you prevent them from having education, that also depletes the black community. So,
Amazing.
Yes.
So you
Amazing.
don't think one is worse than the other?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Let
let's
me
see.
ask.
What do we got here? Rosa Parks.
I grew up when they started the whole
Rosa Parks was set up
civil
by
rights
the
movement,
NAACP.
black woman got on the bus. What was
Rosa
her name?
Parks?
Yeah, what
was her name? He doesn't know Rosa
When they started the
Parks?
whole little civil rights movement thing,
Yeah.
and that black woman got on the bus. What was
Rosa
her name?
Parks?
Yeah, what a bunch of crap she was, right?
Whoa.
She originally, the NAACP had chosen another black girl.
This
to
is
sit on-
true. So they don't teach you this in school, and people like to use this as an own. That like, did you know that when those people were really racist to Rosa Parks and made her sit in the back of the bus, she actually had a car and didn't need to be on the bus that day, and was chosen by civil rights activists to highlight the fact that there's a horrible systemic injustice that segregates black people on the bus? Oh, okay. That's still fucking terrible. Like, oh, you got me. They highlighted how evil it was, and they picked her out to have a squeaky clean record, so they couldn't be like, look, this like shoplifting welfare queen. Who cares about her? She got put in the back. I don't care. Got him.
the bus to act like
You should watch David Packman on Jesse. I did see that. That was pretty good.
she was tired.
Yeah.
And she was going to sit on the front of the bus.
Jesse.
But they found out that she was pregnant just before they did the thing. And they knew that black people were not going to accept that because black people were not at that time accepting out of wedlock birth as a
Right.
norm.
Yeah,
And so
Rosa Parks was an environmentalist too. That's why.
They found out this girl was pregnant. And they're like, we can't use her. Black ain't going to fall for this. And then they went and fought Rosa Parks and told Rosa Parks, you know, go act like you tired.
Jesse.
And sit on the front row.
Jesse, please.
And Rosa like, I'm so tired. That thing was a whole setup.
Okay.
It wasn't like one day Rosa Parks would come home and she was just tired and decided to sit at
You
the
know you
front,
mix the
front
truth with
row.
Can't wait to
lie.
get to does
And not-
racism
and
exist?
just sit there, I'm so tired. I ain't going to no back of no bus. Bro, that was a plot. It was a plan by the
I was a
NAACP.
So
you didn't know that?
my father's older than you.
You didn't know that?
My father's older than you.
No, answer that first and then tell me about your dad.
Know what?
That was a setup by the NAACP.
Okay, well, she had connections with the NAACP.
Did you know that was a setup?
It wouldn't. I don't know it was a setup. I know she had connections with the NAACP.
I've read about it. I've talked about it, and most black people know about
Oh,
it.
so he doesn't know that this was like a staged thing. Like it wasn't just like a spontaneous bus riding. Interesting.
Because even when the NAACP
He's getting out facted by Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah, wait, does he put the book down? Yes, he keeps the book up the whole 1 hour. He's holding this fucking book. Give him a table.
a little mess.
Right.
The older black people, my grandparents and their parents were saying, don't be a part of that. That's just mess.
Whether
Martin Luther King and all
whether
that.
it was
Don't
a
y'all
setup or
follow
not,
that mess.
whether it was a setup or not, it was necessary because black people were
A
being
setup
treated
like that was
They
necessary?
weren't treated fairly on the bus, and that was a time when
They weren't treated fairly on the
blacks were
bus.
unified for a year. For a year, in order to
I just
get
remember something.
treated fairly on the bus. That ended the segregation on the bus after 1 year of protesting and boycotting in Montgomery.
Did you
Alabama.
know that when the NAACP set that up, that there were black buses on bus companies?
Right, there were.
And when they set that up, made the black people say, don't be riding on white buses, right? It caused, according to reports, it caused black business to go out of business. The black buses business to go
Oh my God. Rosa Parks and her actions destroyed black businesses that were only being able to stay in business because of segregation. I haven't heard this argument before. Fair enough.
out of business.
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't as many black bus companies as white, but they should have just. The
How
ones,
many
the,
you
ones who
need?
could, the ones who could have
What
accessed
the-
the black buses should have just been on the black
the-
buses. But they weren't.
But they
But
hurt
you-
the black business by doing that.
They did. So, but back to what you said.
Segregation hurts black business. Sorry, ending segregation. Desegregation hurts black business. We don't talk about that enough.
My father's older than you, and my father's from the South. My father grew up in
Alright.
South Carolina.
Does
Right.
racism
I grew up in
exist? We
Alabama.
gotta
the South. So,
skip to that.
My father tells me stories. In 2015,
You believe that racism exists?
yes.
And what is racism?
I'll tell you. So racism is the unfair treatment of one group of people based on their race, or the belief that one group of people is inferior solely based off their race. So
you are racist for believing that black people are superior to others?
for an objective, for saying that we have superior resilience.
Are you a racist for believing that black people are superior to all
Yes, actually. Jesse's kind of got him.
the races you said?
No, I'm not racist.
But you just said that was racism.
No, I said that. No, I said solely based on race. Mine is not solely based on race.
So you
Mine
believe?
are based on black accomplishments and black oppression.
So
So he doesn't think black people are necessarily superior. He says that black people who realize their full potential are superior, but also the black modifier matters because of their oppression. Okay, all right, still kind of racist if they're better than every other race.
So racism is a belief that one race is superior to another, right?
Solely based on race.
But racism is according
It's
to
also
you,
not solely based on race.
a belief that one race is better than the other.
Solely based on race, correct.
Isn't it prejudice plus power? Clackular. Woke one's that way. Go back to woke one. Go back.
And so if white people think they're better because they do better than black people, they see that they're smarter, they're more innovative.
They're not smarter.
They're
not more innovative.
They're more or less to blame others and carry on.
I love this, like black supremacists versus white supremacists, but they're both black.
Does that make them superior to the blacks?
Nothing you said was true.
Does that make them superior,
No, it
racist to the
doesn't.
black because they do more?
They don't do more.
They
What
do more.
What do you mean they do more?
They're keeping the country going while black people are chasing them, trying to get it and destroying it.
Destroying what?
Everything they touch.
I'm black. I don't destroy everything I touch.
I like how this guy, I think this guy's smart enough to like, you know, get these degrees, write a book, but he's not smart enough to realize how stupid Jesse Lee Peterson is.
Black they don't, but most blacks do.
No, most blacks do what?
Destroy.
Prove that.
Jesus, Jesse. Jesus Christ. Most blacks destroy. All right, Jesse. Okay.
Who killed other blacks the most?
Blacks. And who kills other whites
who
the most?
turned nice
No.
neighborhoods? Who turned nice neighborhoods? I'm giving you the proof.
No, but who kills
Who
other whites
turned
the
nice
most?
neighborhoods
But that's
into
intellectually
hoods?
dishonest. That's
Who
intellectually
turned nice
dishonest.
neighborhoods into hoods?
Bad people.
Who? Now you changed it.
No.
Who turned nice neighborhoods into
no.
hoods?
Hood people.
Who are those hood people?
Oh, no.
Hoodlums.
I'm giving you that.
Oh, no, Jesse. Oh, no. Who did it, Dr. James? Who did it? Oh, my God.
It's a skin color, but what's the hint there? Who? Which people are those? You ever read the book by?
Are you a Democrat?
You ever read the book
you a
by Thomas
Democrat?
Sowell? It's Black Rednecks, White Liberals. You ever read that book?
No.
So he talks about the white people that you're talking about with the skin color thing.
Are you a Democrat?
No.
Were you ever a Democrat?
Yes.
And you're
Until
You Republican now?
No.
And how do you vote?
I'm nonpartisan. I vote based off of knowledge, and I do my due diligence. I study to see which group, which person, which people will do the most for black people.
Did
Right
you vote
now,
for the
there's
Great
no one.
White Hope? How come? See, that's another. That's
Oh,
another.
he doesn't know. He doesn't know about the Great White Hope. Let's see.
Superiority.
What's that?
You vote for those who are going to do the most for black people.
Right.
Right. If black people are so superior, why can't they do most for themselves?
In a system. In a system.
If black people are superior to all,
Like, this guy has like the articulate the arguments. You could like, oh, like black on black crime, but okay, that's the same as white on white crime. You know, like the stats are inflated. Like he has all this knowledge, he has all these degrees, but like how can he not see through this person? Like this guy's a fucking moron, and he's just like taking him so seriously. And it's like, yeah, he calls Trump the Great White Hope. I'm going to just have a normal argument with him. Dude, you gotta watch the show once before you go on, and you got to know what you're getting into, man. Like.
And
why don't they do? Why you got to always vote for somebody that's going to do something for the blacks?
All right, so you should either do that or don't vote at all.
No, I'm asking you. If black people are superior,
right,
why do you even consider voting for somebody that's going to do something for the blacks?
I would, because that's what makes sense if I'm black.
But why, if they're superior, why do you got to have somebody do something for them?
Jesse Peterson's like, if black people are superior, why aren't they all like Superman, Super Saiyans, flying around and like intellectualizing everything and taking over the world? If they're so superior, like and this guy's accurately describing like, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, there are systems of oppression and history, but like he's just so confused. Like they're just, it's oh god, so many levels of stupidity to this. Yeah, you're right. This would be much better. We need an Asian supremacy guy. We need a white supremacist guy. We need a Jewish supremacist, all to come in and just duke it out.
Because we grew up in a system that has oppressed us, doing things against us.
So
now
y'all
it's time to do something for
y'all
us.
ain't gonna never overcome the system?
Who?
The blacks.
If not, if they keep acting the way they're acting, no.
And
We got to read this book and act how I'm telling you to act.
So
this is the key to overcoming it.
Did you vote for the Great White Hope?
Who's the Great White Hope?
You know the Great White
I know
Hope.
who you call the Great White
Who?
Hope. You call what's his name? Trump, the Great White Hope.
What's his
I know
name?
you know the Great White Hope.
I've watched your show.
Did you vote for him?
He's what?
Oh, yeah.
No, he's not. He can't watch the show and not get it. He can't not get it. He knew, and he's still okay. This guy's not. I don't. Now I'm questioning the veracity of these degrees, man. There's no way you knew going into this. And come on, man.
Going to vote for him this time?
No.
And why not?
Because what is he going to do for black people?
Do you vote?
Sometimes.
Do you vote?
Yes.
And did you vote in the last election, presidential election?
Yes.
And who did you vote for?
I think I did a fill-in, a write-in.
Oh, you didn't vote for Biden or
No.
the Great White Hope?
Who?
The Great White
The
Hope.
one you call. Where did you come up with that? Why do you call him the Great White Hope?
Well, when he was in office, he was making America great again by bringing jobs back, drilling oil,
He was
putting an
making it great
amazing
again.
wall around the border.
Did you know making living without a job? Did you know making living without a job illegal made the prison black market economy boom, therefore helping black people get 500 cigarettes? Did you know making living without a job illegal? So if you are made the prison black market economy boom. So the prison black market economy boomed because people went to jail because they were living without a job. Therefore, black people got 500 cigarettes. This seemed like you were about to make an articulate point about. I shouldn't have read that.
Taking away all those restrictions, lowering the taxes, and we were respected around the
You
world
said he was making it great again.
as a result of him. And he white.
When was it great before?
No, I just told you why I call him Great White Hope.
Right.
Like
you said
he's
he was-
engaging with these as if they're normal arguments. This is so annoying. All right, should we give black people which is worse between abortion? Why did MLK receive award? When will the black? Okay, we got to see this one. When will the black people stop begging? All right.
So the blacks stop begging and blaming.
Begging?
And blaming.
Who's begging?
The blacks.
I don't know who's begging.
For
What are they begging for?
reparations?
Arguing that we deserve reparations and affirmative action?
When will they stop begging?
When you give it to us?
And what is it that you want?
I want reparations. I want my money.
You want money.
Yes,
Your money.
I'm a foundational black American. I want money for what my ancestors went through.
And how much do you want?
You could give me, I'll speak for myself. I think give me between 300,000 to $1 million.
You personally want 300,000.
No, I haven't actually
to $1
seen like good
million.
arguments for like how much reparations should be, given the generational wealth that was snatched from people. So that might be an accurate number. I don't know. I'm sure he's looked into this far more than I have. Let's look at the hot seat. What is the hot seat?
The hot seat.
What is a man?
That's okay. I know it's sped up, but that was so like the hot seat.
An adult human male.
What is love?
Love is a deep affection for someone or something.
Is America the best country on this side of heaven?
The best country?
Is America the best country on this side of heaven?
Currently.
Is America the best
Are you talking about currently?
Is America the best country on this side of heaven?
I don't know what you mean by best.
Should blacks be allowed to call each other the N-word?
No.
Mexican food or soul food?
I'll go with soul food.
Do you love white people?
I feel like he shouldn't have taken so long. If he thinks that, like, black culture and black people are superior, he should have just said soul instantly. But he was like thinking about that. Well, Mexican food.
Yes.
Which is more attractive, black women or Hispanic women?
Hispanics are black. They can
Which
be
is
black.
more attractive?
Okay.
Black women or Hispanic women?
You're including both, but black women.
I'm sorry?
You're including both in that question.
No,
black
which is
women.
more attractive, black women or Hispanic women?
So you're excluding black Hispanic women?
No, I'm asking you a question. Which is more attractive, black women or Hispanic women?
This is what happens when you take Jesse Lee Peterson seriously and like try to add nuance. Like, well, don't you understand that like there are people in Argentina that are black, that are Hispanic? It's like, dude, you are thinking way too much for this show.
Hispanic isn't a race, so
I ain't asking all that, man.
But Hispanics
Which
can
is
be black.
more attractive, black women
Black
or
women.
Hispanic
Black
women?
women.
What?
Black women.
Is it ever okay to call a woman fat?
If she's fat, yes.
Did the bear?
I mean, if she's fat.
Oh, does the bear shit in the woods?
If he lives in the woods, yes.
Is the earth flat or round?
It's round.
Was Jesus white
I wasn't sure I was going to answer that one.
or black?
Black.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? This one I didn't know about.
Jesus white or black?
Black.
Jesus was black? This is a black Jesus guy?
Does a chicken have lips?
Yes, I believe so.
No. Chickens have beaks. Wait, what? What is happening? Wait, can someone explain black Jesus to me? Does he just mean because like he was in the Middle East?
A chicken have lips?
As far as I know.
True or false? Giving a woman.
Chickens don't have lips. I have to chicken lips. Chickens don't have lips. Chicken lips is a humorous expression for something impossible. And he says, yes, they do. What the fuck? God damn it.
The right to vote was a big mistake.
Oh no.
Chicken have lips?
As far as I know.
True or false?
Does a chicken have lips as far as I know? All right.
Giving a woman the right to vote was a
Oh,
big
you think he heard legs? Maybe.
or round?
It's round.
Was Jesus white or black?
Black.
Does a chicken have lips?
Yes, I believe so.
A chicken have lips?
As far as I know.
True or false? Giving a woman the right to vote was a big mistake.
False.
Ooh, I don't know. He was thinking about that one.
What?
Giving them the right.
Wait, we gotta watch this one in real time speed. I love Jesse Lee Peterson. Holy shit! Oh god! All right.
Lips.
Yes, I believe so.
A chicken have lips?
As far as I know.
True or false? Giving a woman the right to vote was a big mistake.
False.
What?
Giving them.
Like he's has to think about it because he's like, okay, wait, it wasn't a mistake. Because he's like, well, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Jesse Lee Peterson's like, wait, hold on. You think women should vote? One more time. One more time. Oh my god. And he killed it too. He really thought about it. He's like, hold on, double negative. Like, all right, women should be able to vote.
Lips.
As far as I know.
True or false? Giving a woman the right to vote was a big mistake.
Big mistake.
False.
What?
Giving them the right to vote.
Giving the woman, true or false? Giving the women the right to vote was a
Like,
big...
wait, he's like, did I say the wrong thing? Did I say women shouldn't vote? No, Jesse Lee Peterson thinks women shouldn't vote, dude. That's why he's confused.
False.
What?
Giving them the right to vote.
Giving the woman, true or false? Giving the women the right to vote was a big mistake.
That's false.
That's false?
They should have the right to vote.
You saying that's false?
They should have the right to vote.
He's still confused. He's like, I'm saying they should vote. I think women should vote. Women should vote. I'm saying the right thing. Just Peterson's like, what is wrong with you, dude? What are you saying?
False.
Women should have the right to vote?
Yes.
Amazing. Did you have fun?
I gotta watch it one more time.
True or false, giving a woman the right to vote was a big mistake.
False.
What?
Giving them the right to vote?
Giving a woman, true or false, giving the women the right to vote was a big mistake.
That's false.
That's false?
They should have the right to vote.
You saying that's false?
They should have the right to vote, so that's false.
Women should have the right to vote?
Yes.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Did you have fun?
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, man.
No, thank you for having me.
I don't know if we're gonna get better than that. I mean, we can watch more of this other thing, but if that's fucking peak. That was peak. True or false? What? All right. Well, here's this racist guy from Wix Streams. Let's see what he has to say. This is about white people destroying black communities.
Quick sort of yes or no, not a gotcha, just to get us on the same page and everybody else watching this. In your book, I believe you're largely critical of the U.S. government for causing harm to the black families. Is that true?
Critical for causing harm to, in my book, largely critical. I wouldn't say that's true. No.
Okay. Well, is it, I guess I'll probe a little. Is it your position that the United States government has helped or harmed the black family, particularally through I'm sure you know where I'm going with this.
Through systemic racism, they have caused harm to the black family. Correct, yes.
All right.
So this racist piece of shit, he was talking about his like divorce or something in the like prep room. So that was funny. But fuck this guy.
One of the bullet points we'll hit on, just to get out of the front, it is fascinating to me that you will appeal to the same institution that caused so much harm to your community to try to rectify it. On the numbers, doing the math, it looks like the number you're looking for is about $22 trillion of reparations. So if you had what you were asked for spread out, I believe, across about 40 million, is that roughly correct?
No.
Okay, what is
you said 22 trillion?
22 trillion. So what did he say in the Jesse Lee Peterson? He said 300,000 to a million. Let's just take the 300,000. How many black people are in America? Black people, America is, excuse me, 42 million, give or take. So if we do 42 million times 300,000, I can't read 1.26 times 10 to the 13th. I can't do that in my head. I don't want to move how many. I can't do math in real time. I feel so stupid. Yeah, $12 trillion up towards of 40 trillion. Okay, so you did the math right.
Yeah, and it was based off of when you're on Jesse Lee Peters, you said 300,000 to a million. I think it was 40 million that would be receiving it, so I did rough math on that.
Yeah, I said for me personally on Jesse Lee Peterson.
Okay, so you don't believe it should be equal. Do you have a rough total number?
Well, do you want me to start? I can go over like different numbers.
I apologize on that one. If it's going to go deeper, I'm just laying some points here. I'll get to the heart of it, and then I'll hand it over to my friend. So there's another group that the United States government has fucked over pretty hard, and that's the Mormons. They were driven from New York all the way up to Utah. In fact, the oldest building in the state of Nevada, where we are today, is the Mormon Fort. It's the oldest, not only is it the oldest building here, but the Mormons themselves abandoned it, and then a lot of the prosperity that went on, including with the way the railroad came into the town, was all based off of that Mormon Fort. And so the broader criticism I have about your entire foundation on this is that when Mormons needed to heal from a literal extermination order in Missouri, 1838, Mormons were to be driven out by any means necessary, an actual religious state-sanctioned genocide on U.S. soil. They currently are one of the wealthiest religions in the history of humanity and occupy disproportionate representation in the U.S. intelligence community as well as all over the world. So what I'm telling you as an Ephraimite is that the way forward is Christ, and if you work together to build things, you guys don't need the institutions to make right the problems that the institution created.
You're done?
Yes, sir.
So your argument, let me make sure I understand your argument firstly. You're trying to say that Mormons in America have experienced the same amount of systemic and racial oppression as black people in America?
So what I'm saying is they faced a genocide, meaning they buried their dead with cold frostbitten hands because the United States government drove them out of where they were. And I'm not offering a moral judgment or an equivocacy on this. What I'm simply saying is that if you care about your people and you believe you've been wronged, and I agree with you, beyond all, I think the biggest tragedy here, if we're going to look at numbers, is the complete destruction of families. I believe families are the central unit of a functioning society. Black families have been torn apart. There's not a dollar that will fix that. There's no dollar amount. We could call it $100 trillion. It doesn't repair that. That's, I believe, something sacred that's been destroyed. But since we're mere mortals here on Earth, and there's not $100 trillion waiting around to be doled out to rectify historical injustices, going shoulder to shoulder and helping each other build wealth is what's worked for the Mormons. I'm just saying, if it's helpful to you, perhaps that's a point of consideration.
Okay, so my claim is that Black
Interesting. I thought he was going to be way more racist. He's just like, well, it just doesn't make sense practically, which I've heard there are practical arguments against it. But invoking the Mormons here is a very strange choice.
Americans have clearly been systemically and racially oppressed significantly more than Mormons. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't think it's relevant, but I am going to disagree.
Okay, so name one name one Mormon slave in American history.
So literally, they were being executed based off their religion, and
Can you name a Mormon slave in American history?
No, I can't.
Were there any?
So in this moment, we're comparing now slavery to execution. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Can we say both are bad, or do you think slavery is a better how would you weigh those? Genocide versus slavery?
Slavery was a genocide.
Okay, I could agree on that.
So when you bring up Mormons to say what Mormons are doing today and how they are successful and they didn't rely on the government, it's important to
this is so weird that he's trying to say like the expulsion. This is like, oh, like what's worse, the Trail of Tears or slavery? It's like, okay, they're both bad, but like probably this is why we have some sort of reparations for Native Americans. This is why they get reservations, and we give them tax breaks and casinos and subsidies. Like,
establish whether they're equal or not to the form of systemic racism and oppression that Black people went through, especially when the claim is that Black Americans are owed reparations of land due to slavery. Mormons didn't experience slavery in America, so they can't be logically equivalent. That's a logical fallacy, even bringing that up to say what they went through. They didn't go through slavery. Even if we just start from when America was founded in 1776 to 1865, which we know slavery went past that. It went past 1865, correct?
There's slavery right now. You don't give a shit about that.
No, that's not true, and you don't know that, so it's wrong for you to put that claim on me. Correct?
I disagree.
So you know I don't give a damn about slavery right now?
So we're spending an awful lot of time right now talking about you asking an institution, this is the prompt, you're owed reparations to go more sophisticated with it, but given we'll keep it clean. What I'm saying is your cause is just. Your pain is real. I agree with you. What you're appealing.
This guy was so racist on that wig panel. He's like, look, you have real pain, Black people.
To is the same institution that fucked you to fix it. That's incoherent.
Okay, so the claim is not whether or not the United States government will give it to us. The claim is that we deserve it. Do we deserve it?
Well, it's America owes.
America owes Black Americans reparations and land.
So it's not about deserving. It just says America owes, which would.
That's what. God damn it, Sarah. That's what deserving means.
Be a actual something needs to happen. It's
so,
not whether
as
you
if they
deserve
deserve
it or whether it's right or just. It's America owes. Like, I owe you $5. There's a reason I owe you $5, right? It doesn't matter if it's deserved or not or justified. The point is I owe you $5.
Yeah, from a standpoint of just being how can I say reasonable.
Hey, at least Sarah doesn't have the horse videos to interrupt when people are getting loud or punching each other. So
it's my stance that they're synonymous. It's the same thing. If I loan.
Oh yeah, when the Mormons entered what is now Utah, they pushed all the American Indians out of the land. Well, hey, two wrongs make a right is what I've heard.
You $100, and I say, hey, you owe me $100. I deserve that $100 back. So it's like the same type of thing as the stance that I'm saying. So just for anyone in the room. But
this guy's not being racist enough.
I would disagree.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit.
Slaves, they treated people unfairly, took their teeth reparations for and allowed their descendants of the nation.
This guy.
Yeah, you brought up the data. You brought up 4,000. I'm bringing you Joseph Holloway. He is the author of Black Slave Owners. There's also another person, Michael Johnson, he wrote a book called Black Slave Masters, which talks about what I'm talking about right now, how they strategically would separate the Black community. And this is how we get the whole light skin versus dark skin thing. They also were separated by gender. They would purposely make a large portion of the slave masters female. I could read that off you too. A lot of them.
I understand what you're saying.
Black women represented 68% of head of households in the North and 70% of slaveholding heads of colored households in the South. This is from Joseph E. Holloway, the Black Slave Owners.
Okay, all right. So
it's a part of their systemic racism. It's a part of them getting the Black community to fight against each other. They're doing exactly what they're doing right now with feeding these false narratives. You coming in here thinking that there were 4,000 Black slave owners without realizing it was systemic, and a lot of them were mixed, and a lot of them had a Black dad, and there were women who were overseeing a bunch of men.
Okay, so what I'm going off of, are you familiar with Rob Wilson? Did you read his book when it comes down to when he talking about who are actually the Black slave masters? He went through an entire list of the Black slave masters. You can look into this thing. So when it comes down to the models, I don't know the data on that. But what I will say is that in comparison to all the mixes of race of Black people, 37 to 4,000 Black people, depending on what they're mixed with.
Excuse me?
3,700 to 4,000 Black slave masters.
3,700 to 4,000.
Making the argument that Black people own slaves too, so therefore the slaves that were under the slave ownership of Black people don't deserve reparations. Or is he saying that the slave owners who were Black don't deserve reparations because they own slaves?
Okay, and he said
in total?
Yes, exactly. He said,
by the way, 1977, when Mormons decided Black people were people, and God changed his mind because he speaks directly to the head of the church and said that Black people could be Mormons. But until that point, Black people could not be Mormons. Yeah, I forgot about that little fact.
He said based on if they're mixed race, based on everything. So it's in between 3,700 to 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're saying in total, including the mixed race.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that the majority of them were fully Black. That's what he put out in his book.
Prove that.
Prove it. Break it up. Rod Wilson.
Robert was interview with Pacman. He didn't know how tariffs worked. Now he's copycatting Jubilee since he's out of money and not helping people. Oh, when you said interview with Pacman, I thought you were talking about. Oh no, was that Sean? Wait. Oh, that was him. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Sean Mike Kelly. You're this guy? I didn't even realize. Hold on. Oh dear. Oh dear Lord. Oh dear Lord.
Met the guy, so person in the sense that I've never met the guy, so I think he has a lot of personality traits that make him completely unsuited to being president. And also I think his policy prescriptions, to the extent that they exist and he understands them, which is a different part of it. A lot of the stuff Trump talks about, he still doesn't know how tariffs work. We're 8 years into this thing, 9 years in. He still thinks China pays the tariffs when they're paid by American
I've seen him
companies.
talk about tariffs.
Very confused guy.
Wait, so China's not paying tariffs right now?
The tariffs are paid by the American companies that import the Chinese goods. That's the way it's such a fundamental, and I see you looking a little confused on this one.
I'm confused.
This is the way tariffs work. What Trump did is place tariffs on Chinese imports. By the time the imports get here, China's been paid for this stuff. Maybe they get net 120 terms, right? But in a sense, China has already transacted. The American company who brings the goods in pays the tariffs.
Really?
You're kidding right now.
No, I thought he said he was raising the tariffs by 50 to 100% for Chinese imports.
You got to clip this.
Oh no, this is a shot. Oh no.
I'm begging you. You got to clip this.
Okay, so
No. He doesn't know how tariffs work. Well, I hope he knows now. But here's the thing. If Sean wants to have people like David Pacman on to make these ideas more salient, because tariffs aren't intuitive if you didn't know, that's good. But like I said, I don't think the conversations that we're having are necessarily the most productive. Like the Carmelo Anthony thing, this black supremacist stuff. Are we really educating people?
Majority of them were fully black. So you're saying out of 4,000, more than 2,000 were fully black?
Yes.
I disagree, because Joseph Holloway and Michael Johnson go against that.
All right, well, so does Anthony Johnson and Andre DeFarm.
Anthony Johnson, the one.
All right, I want to see. I heard this guy getting a little spicy.
so much.
First, I wanted to start with, I love the fact that you're a martial artist. You know, I trained Shitoru karate for a long time, and then I switched recently to Muay Thai, and so, you know, we could be friends along those lines. On the actual debate issue, though, I think one of the big problems is the feasibility, which is we talk about, you know, $300,000 times 40 million people, you're looking at $10 to $20 trillion. And so I think, because obviously you can't do that, that would bankrupt the entire country. And so what we do though is we have affirmative action programs. And to me, it seems like those are essentially a reparation program. And so I think we already do this. Do you not think we already do this?
We don't already do this. Shout out to my homeboy, Bobby Knuckles.
Also, they got rid of affirmative action. So even if affirmative action is a form of reparation, so we don't do it anymore.
Shout out to him. We don't already do this. Shall I continue? Or?
Yeah, I mean, in what sense do we not? What sense is an affirmative action program that prioritizes people of particular racial groups not a reparation?
You just said racial groups. So when I speak of reparations, I'm talking about specifically Black Americans getting reparations and or land compensated because Black Americans generated enormous wealth for the United States through uncompensated labor. After slavery ended, government policies continued to deny Black Americans opportunities to build wealth. The United States repeatedly accepted responsibility for historical injustice by providing compensation to other groups and even honoring obligations created by previous governments or other governments outside of the United States of America. When you include other groups, you're not talking about reparations, you're talking about government assistance like welfare and things like that, where you could be white, Native American, Asian, and get the services. That's not equity, that's not reparations if it's afforded to everyone.
Well, you can't be white and get affirmative action.
Yeah, you can.
Then I didn't get any affirmative action when I applied to colleges. In fact,
oh God! All right, he doesn't know how affirmative action works. Cool. White woman, primary receivers of affirmative action. Mr. Man did not look this up.
Actually, I was detrimented because of my race when I applied to college.
That's an anecdotal experience. It has nothing to do with the system.
It's also the systemic. The Supreme Court ruled on it. The fact that that's actually exactly what happened. You just disagree with the Supreme Court, or what's happening here?
That's not, so you're saying no white people benefited from affirmative action in America?
Right now, no. There are no affirmative action programs in education that benefit white people.
You said in education. See how you try to specify?
Well, yeah, starting with a particular space.
I pay attention to what people say and what they don't say.
Yeah, I started with education. That's a Supreme Court case. So I'm picking a particular industry. If you want to switch industries,
so no white people benefited from, or let me say
benefited historically? Absolutely. No. There were a lot of laws that were benefited white people historically. That's true.
No non-black people benefited from affirmative action?
No, other non-black people do, but black people benefited more. When you look at like SAT scores, when you look at MCAT scores, applying to
med schools and all these things, black people benefit more than other races do. But of course, there's differing impacts, and there's there's affirmative action programs for all kinds of people, and they vary based on which program, and they vary based on which education, and they vary based on all kinds of things.
That right there alone is not reparations, and it can't be counted as a form of reparations if you yourself agree that people who are not specifically Black Americans benefit.
I don't know about this argument. If you said, all right, we're going to lift Black people up by undoing historic injustices and giving them this amazing cash flow, this amazing windfall, or all these legs up in all these different sectors, but we're also going to help women that aren't Black. This is still reparations. And if you did it enough to a point where like it would rectify those injustices, you couldn't say, oh, well, just because we gave it to these other people, it's not reparations for you. So
from it.
If you also benefit Hispanics, but benefit
Supreme Court case happened this year. So did this guy get into college this year? I guess he's pretty young.
Hispanics less, that doesn't change whether or not you benefited Black people.
So Hispanics benefit from it?
Affirmative action, less than Black people do, but they do benefit from it, yes.
Right, so there could be white Hispanics, correct?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So there could be white people benefiting from it.
Yeah, if you're going to consider...
That's me. I'm a white Hispanic. I benefited probably to some degree. I got a scholarship, and I bet it has nothing to do with the fact that I have Hispanic on my application.
White people and within the race versus ethnicity, then sure.
So even white people are benefiting from this, and you want me to agree that this should be accounted as a form of reparations?
Oh, I think there is a Hispanic, non-Hispanic option on those, right? Like you are counting that in.
You have to check off Hispanic in order to get it, which is a separate program.
So they might have
it's a
white
racial versus
skin,
ethnicity.
right? But they would have to check Hispanic or not Hispanic. That would be the differentiator there.
Yeah, but you could be Hispanic white, and you could be non-Hispanic white.
Guys, the last section is called race crime statistics, and it's a Black guy arguing. We do have to take a peek at that.
They could still be a white Hispanic.
Well,
yes, there could be a white Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
that's what I'm saying.
But these people typically receive less affirmative action programs than say an Afro-Hispanic person would be, or than say a Mayan or other kinds of Hispanic programs from that.
So you want me to agree that this is a form of reparations, even though even white people, Asian, all racial groups can benefit from it?
I'm not going to say degree. No, you absolutely are benefiting Black people over white and over Asian students.
I'm not adding it into the same degree. Does every race essentially?
This is such a silly argument. It's like, well, if they don't all, if it doesn't specifically target them, it doesn't matter. This is kind of what I was worried about when I started meeting some of these people. Like, they're just not. These aren't the most intelligent arguments, and I don't know how much this is furthering conversation. Let's see what else we got in here.
Correct. Would you identify yourself as a libertarian or independent?
Independent.
Okay, independent. So I'm a libertarian by heart. I'm fiscally libertarian. I do not believe that.
Props to Ethan for deciding to sit through all this. I was like, I'm going to go out and get a snack and a drink of water.
We should be sending taxpayer dollars overseas. We should not. We have personal accountability, responsibility. Our own property is our right. And I do believe we should not be giving reparations to anyone at all. I also do believe that the United States is the greatest country on this planet. Yes, we.
Okay, Jesus, this guy's just going in for the libertarian argument. Everyone needs to be treated equally. $10 from Josiah, thank you. I'm watching this and I just have one question. How does Joe define populism? Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Yep. Done wrongs in the past, right? But if we continue to
If I
focus.
had a nickel for every white Hispanic YouTuber I sub to, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't much. It's weird that happened twice. Who's the other one? Who's the other one? Where is he? Am I better? Is he better than me?
On those wrongs in the past, we cannot focus on our future. So one question I want to ask you, do you love the United States of America?
He should be prepped for this. This is a Jesse Lee Peterson question. Do you love the United States of America?
Yes, my ancestors built this country. They
Nailed
made it
it.
the best country, and yeah, I love what we built.
What do you love about the United States of America?
Oh, duh, David Pagman. Okay.
What do I love that my people built it?
Is that it?
That's what you said. What do I love?
Yes. So that's the only thing you love about this country. You don't love.
That's what I love most.
That's what you love most. So
Yeah.
so you're telling me you
You
don't
hit
love.
Josiah randomly with Jesse Lee Peterson. What? I need to go soundboard for that. We're gonna play that before we're done.
Opportunities that this country brings to you. If you also claimed earlier that this country is systemically racist. Well, if that is true, then 20 to 50 million illegals would not have crossed our southern border to come to a systemically racist country. Correct?
No.
Why?
It's not. These are the thing. I can't. Like, this is why I couldn't sit in the room. It's like this guy's not prepared to have the argument of like, hey, systemic racism doesn't mean that like the standard of living isn't higher. It just means people are treated racist. But like, that why else would they come? But let's see if he actually makes this argument. I don't know. Maybe he's smart enough to.
Why do you believe that's not it?
That doesn't prove that America doesn't have systemically racist practices, because we were fighting for other people to get over here, and they came over here while America still had systemically racist practices. Correct?
Well, yeah. So
Okay.
every time that the government, I will agree with
All
you
right.
on this.
No,
When
he
the
nailed
government
it.
gets involved,
Global warfare. Well, YouTube lore. Are you going to give me another stroke? Thank you for the $5. Soy pill. I have $180 in my bank. You got to watch a video on communism. Hakeem, unless you are a wuss, don't worry. I'm just a tanky. I will steal your toothbrush. If you only have $180 in your bank, I suggest that you refund that super chat.
anything is bad, right? So that's why I'm libertarian, because we should have limited government, because every time the government gets their hands involved.
Josiah, with that propeller spinning on your head, I think if you put a propeller on your ass, you take off like a muscly helicopter. You are so lucky you're not on Live and Learn anymore, because the Live and Learn HR department would have your fucking ass for that one.
We have bad things that happen. We have black communities that get targeted. But will I say that's enough justification for the United States to give reparations to African Americans? No, I do not. Because you were brought here to this country, and I know we've had really bad, bad issues with slavery in the past, but being here in the first place is a privilege. I've been to 30 countries. I've served in the United States Army for 8 years, and I've traveled to other places throughout the world that slavery still exists. Sharia law, being prior service, I've experienced that firsthand. And I do notice that when I traveled out of this country, that when I come back,
Sharia law firsthand.
Yes, we still have faults within our country, but we are far superior to any other country on the face of this planet. So that's what I'm getting at. I think we try to focus on like who should get paid what, or what race is superior.
Call me American exceptionalist when I say America can leverage sanctions to like end wars. Like, you can't use that word when these people exist. Just like collapsalism, you probably shouldn't call Lonerbox a house N-word just because he's Arabic and defends Israel's actions. It's a little extreme considering just Lee Peterson exists. That's what that word is reserved for. These like literal white supremacist Uncle Toms.
When we're actually all equal. When I served in the military, we had the American flag on the right side, right? We did not talk about race. Reparations was never brought up. I see you're beating your eyes. You want to counter argue this one,
So we're all equal, and I see you bringing up the armed forces. So you're familiar with the GI Bill?
Yes.
And you're familiar about how that was systemically oppressive towards black soldiers coming back from war, correct?
Give me the example.
When they couldn't utilize it to purchase homes and things like that.
I want to fact check that one.
Yeah, black.
Josiah, thank you for the $5. This is the longest you've gone without talking about Hassan in the past 3 weeks, so I thought I'd shatter your zen by dropping his name. I actually talked about Hassan yesterday on stream, so nice try, buddy. But also, basically every Live and Learn is Hassan's got to come up. I don't think we've had a single Live and Learn we haven't mentioned Hassan. Someone can fact check me on that. So
Americans were discriminated against with the GI Bill.
But
fact check that first.
Defending Israel's actions, he was explaining them. Well, he explains them, but he says, I am downplaying the extent to which it is bad. Actually, this part is justified. Like, he's not literally defending every action.
It's supported.
Yeah, that's his blue, or not blue, green.
That's green?
The GI Bill was
Okay.
systemically oppressive towards blacks.
So we have government involvement.
Oh yeah, see, like they've got the little AI fact checker, and it's like, what's the AI? No one checked. Do white women receive affirmative action? But the little AI pops up and is like, yes, this is true.
Systemically oppressive towards blacks.
So we have government involvement.
You're a soldier. Do you think that was fair?
This is
No, I do not. But also,
so should those people receive reparations if they can prove that their family, their grandmother?
No, I do not. They should be given the benefits they're entitled to for their service to this nation.
But they weren't. So if their parents were, if
But
my
that's not-
grandparent
that's not
wasn't,
considered
This guy who's not one of the debaters, the Hebrew Hammer, as I call him. He just sits down. He just wants to listen, be close. Pondering Politics, thank you for the 5. If it was written into the contract when we created Live and Learn, you should have read the fine print. We have to talk about this on every episode, or else the show gets canceled. All right. This guy's just making silly libertarian arguments. Let's see. This guy is like he's a Brylan Hollyhand prototype.
All right. So my third and final prompt is that white supremacy has destroyed the black community.
I don't know how you can argue against this. This is like, yes, it fucking obviously has, but let's see.
Well, good thing you're not my doctor, because you'd want to see me dead on based of how you talked about white people.
What an opening. Holy shit. Hold on.
Well, good thing you're not my doctor, because you'd want to see me dead on based of how you talked about white people earlier. You think that you want to put a financial burden on the entire white race as a whole in our country, yet how would you actually implement this policy? One, it would be discriminatory under the...
Okay, so, buddy, that was the last prompt. You're coming in swinging about affirmative action.
14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment. And then you would also have the exorbitant costs, $22 trillion, because I believe you said earlier, you said $300,000 to $1 million per person, $22 trillion total. That's just unfeasible. You haven't mentioned once how you'd actually be able to enact this type of policy. And for it to be feasible at all, and for you to deserve it, there has to be a point where you could actually enact part of it. And so I'll leave it up to you. How do you plan to enact this?
What's your name?
Buddy, he just, unless they cut this wrong, this is not the prompt.
Carson.
Like Carson Daly? Carson.
Yep.
It's not the prompt, Carson. Try again.
Okay, there we go. Hey, Carson. Wrong fucking prompt, idiot.
Okay. Fair enough. You didn't even know your own prompt when you came into it. You had to ask.
Oh no, I
for
knew
it.
my prompt that I worked out with Sean. But since
Well, what
that's
is
not
it? Go for it. We can debate that.
My prompt is Black Americans experience the most oppression in American history and have made the most significant contributions.
Oh, that's just not true. Name me 5 black inventions right off the.
Oh no, he talks like a groper. He might be one. I don't know. Well, black people haven't faced the most oppression and obviously haven't invented much, because name me 5 black inventions. All right, here we go.
5 black inventions?
Yes.
The doorknob, the doorstop, the gas mask, the
stuff we can't live without.
The ironing board, And
hold on, that was goalpost shifting, buddy.
And dry cleaning.
Stuff we can't live without.
Yeah, it makes things safer. And that's just 5 off the top of my head.
We can live without doorknobs, buddy.
To keep going. We made significant contributions, and we were discriminated against. We made
not the most
flying,
in American history.
Flying.
No.
Okay, so he was taking specifically contention with the most in American history, but I don't know how you contest with the doorknob, buddy. We use doorknobs every day.
Not the most in American history.
Yes, I didn't say. I said we.
You said you were discriminated the most in American history.
We were discriminated. In fact, we were. Who was discriminated more than Black Americans?
The Mormons easily.
What? Where is this like a Mormon talking point? I have never heard this in my life. Like Mormons are like the most oppressed people in the world. Where did this come from? Mormons most oppressed. I want to see if this is like on like the Lutheran website or something like that. No, Lutheran, Latter-day Saints website. This is here, let me share this. Where did this talking point come from? Everyone thinks they're the most oppressed. When first of all, they're both wrong. It's gamers. All right. The Mormon persecution complex. Wait, hold on. Can I open this in like an image? Let's make it bigger. The Mormon. It's pretty disheartening to see some of the responses to Elder Holland being selected. It's bothersome how in our society we are all talk about not discriminating and treating others with respect. And yet members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are the most persecuted group in our country and in many places around the world. What? No one's saying this but Mormons. Only Mormons are saying this. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, guys, come on.
They were genocided, killed.
Oh my God.
Would you say slavery is worse or execution?
Slaves were killed.
He's making the same argument as the other guy.
Know that.
That's mutually
you can't.
different.
So
That's mutually different.
Would you rather have your people killed or have them enslaved? Like, yeah, okay, it's hard to say which is worse, but obviously chattel slavery was worse than like the expulsion of some of the Mormons.
The genocide for Mormons, so-called genocide for Mormons in America.
You know why? Because there's no black state. Utah's the Mormon state. Black people didn't get a state.
Last from what point to what point?
It was around 1848. It was in Missouri, and so
it was in one state.
That's where most Mormons were located out of. Yeah.
Okay, so just want to clarify. You're talking about one state. Continue. And
okay. Well, slavery was mostly in the South. Yeah.
What time period? From what? Give a time period.
How is that relevant?
Because if we're
going to compare 400 years of oppression to like this one really bad thing that happened to Mormons, idiot.
How that's relevant?
Because if we're going, you said they were discriminated against more than black people.
Yeah, I did.
If I talk about the founding of this country, I'm going to go from at least 1776 to now.
Okay,
but if I went from slavery from 1776 to 1865, I can say that. I could give a time period of roughly 90 years.
So time period doesn't matter about the severity of it. You understand that, right?
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Because it's going to show how
does that impact the severity of it?
So give a number.
Please explain
So you give a number then, too.
Okay, thousands of Mormons were killed,
This is
executed.
an interesting, stupid hypotheticals here. If I, what's worse? Killing a guy once or flicking him in the head for 5,000 years? Like, I guess the time period does kind of matter, but then how do you measure them?
And thrown out of Missouri.
Millions of slaves were killed and executed and tortured.
Millions of slaves.
Yes, millions.
Millions of slaves.
Yes.
Please cite that fact. Where is that fact at, actually?
So let's cite it. Let's see if that's true.
Millions and millions of slaves.
Were there millions of slaves, black American slaves in America?
Genocided against.
It's genocide to put them in chattel slavery. It's genocide
to genocided against.
What? To put them to put them in chattel slavery, force them to work from sun up to sundown.
I'm studying for the Loner Box debate, and by the definition, the UN Convention, 1948 Convention on Genocide, it is genocide. It's not just killing all of them. That's not what it means.
Hold on, let's get the number.
Okay,
this is broadly supported.
Millions of slaves were killed, executed, tortured in the United States. The historical record supports that slavery in the U.S. involved.
I love Sarah. Oh my God, just Google. Wow, it's saying here that millions of slaves were killed and hurt and tortured and executed.
Massive violence.
No, go down.
Hold on, I gotta go get it again. Torture, sexual abuse, but the exact phrase "millions of slaves were killed and executed" is too broad and not well supported.
At the bottom, it says right there.
Hold on, I gotta go back down.
Read that one in green. The speaker claims that millions of slaves were in the United States. This is broadly supported. Estimates indicate roughly 10 million people were enslaved in the United States over time, and about 4 million were enslaved by.
It's okay to reach. You can admit
that's not
wrong.
reaching.
You're so reaching.
So how were the slaves treated?
Saying there were slaves in the United States. That doesn't say about what happened.
So the goal of slavery was the genocide.
So you're telling me that slaves were treated right?
No.
You're telling me how slaves were treated fairly, and it was all hunky-dory.
That's not what I'm saying.
So how were they treated?
You're saying that slavery was used as a mechanism to commit a genocide.
And I don't even know what you're talking about. You didn't even give a year. What year?
How would that even be relevant?
Because you're lying. Let's fact check you. You said Mormons were genocided.
You can rely on AI all you want. I know you did with your notes as well.
So no, I have sources.
Need any notes. I don't need any notes.
I'm not reading from
those aren't sources. You use ChatGPT to get you sources.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
did. This is stuff. First of all, a lot of the stuff I'm citing is already in my book that was published 3 years ago. So
okay, cool.
Okay, so now, what's your source for the Mormons were genocided? You need to read something because you don't have a source. You don't have a year.
Is this considered genocide? Mormon genocide, United States. So he's talking about, is he talking about the mountain meadow? Look, we're getting the deep pulls. We learned about peons. Is that a slur? I hope not. We learned about peons. Now we're learning about the Mountain Meadows Massacre. It's a series of attacks during the Utah War. There was a war in Utah? The Utah War, known as the Utah Expansion, the Buchanan Blunder, the Mormon War, the Mormon Rebellion, was an armed confrontation between the U.S. government and Mormon settlers in Utah Territory. Wow, I didn't know. Why don't they teach us this in school? That's interesting. I want to know about all the Mormons and their armed conflicts. They're like 17,000 Waco, Texas moments. Criticism and analysis. Mark Twain commented on the massacre through the lens of contemporary American public opinion. He was given a full chapter in Stenhouse's The Rocky Mountain Saints. Okay. Seems relevant. The darkest deed of the 19th century. A crime that has no parallel for American history for atrocity. Says LSD historian. Wow. Okay. Well, did not know there was a war in Utah.
You're using someone else's talking point.
Okay.
Give a year, give a time period. You said thousands. Thousands doesn't compare to millions of slaves. We know how slaves were treated. So we're not going to act like we don't have the testimonies of people like Harriet Tubman who died in 1930.
So what would be the reason for Mormons to go to Utah?
No, we have Africatown in Alabama from when
Oh, that's
Cujo
great. I'm
Lewis.
sure it's a great place.
Listen, from when Cujo Lewis came here in 1860.
You didn't even know what Cajun was.
Matilda McCrae came here in 1860. These were slaves who came over here on a slave ship, died in 1935 and 1940.
Look at him. He's locked in back here. He's locked in. He's thinking about how he's going to get out of his next arrest and turn it into a LinkedIn post to accelerate, to network, to flourish, to achieve.
So these are people who came here. We have their testimonies of how they were stolen, how they were separated from their family, how they saw people get beat to death. People were set on fire. We know what slavery was. That's genocide. Okay, we had a whole people discriminated against. We lost our name. We lost our religion. We lost our identity. That's genocide. So you just sit here and say that that's not genocide and try to compare it.
By definition, it's not genocide.
Maybe we need to actually
you don't know what genocide is.
It is.
Was the U.S. government's policy to kill these slaves? Yes or no?
That's not what genocide is. It's a kill in part and whole, cause mental damage. What are the five axis ray of genocide? I can't name that. 1948 UN Convention, actus rea genocide. It's a killing, causing the death of the members, serious harm, severe physical or mental damage, harsh living conditions meant to bring about the total or partial physical destruction, preventing births, and forced transfer. So it's by definition, with intent, forced transfer, definitely preventing births, definitely harsh living conditions. I mean, killing and serious harm to an extent. Yeah, I mean, I guess it meets all five with the dolus specialis. See, we're learning about genocide, guys. This is we're bringing it all back. This is how this all ties into the Loanerbox debate.
Was it to kill the slaves?
But I don't know if this guy knows that. Probably not.
Property. It wasn't considered murder. So yes, it wasn't murder if you took the life of a slave. So they made it legal. They made it legal. You could do what you want with your property. It was an official statement by the U.S. government. Yes. So if I'm allowed to kill you and get no, they can look it up. If I can kill you,
it's been shown a lot of red. I don't even have to look.
No, it's a lot of green. Everyone see a lot of green. Tell the truth. It's green.
They're talking about
so
the.
you still couldn't.
Well, it also hears me as well.
No, it's green on my statement.
Okay.
You still, everyone.
So U.S. slave law.
We need that. What? I need to figure out how to do the soundboards and go. What?
Legally treated as property. That is green.
Well, I would hope that would be green. That's a stated fact. Yes, obviously they were property.
It
wouldn't be considered murder.
It was not considered murder.
I'm not debating that.
Yeah.
So
do you even know what we're debating?
Yes, I know what we're debating.
Hold on, stop.
You can't say that, buddy. Do you even know what we're debating, buddy? You came up and read the wrong prompt.
What we're trying to get to the bottom of it right now is genocide. So you're talking about two different points right now. Like a slave owner killing his property, that is a totally separate thing. It's not under the world of genocide and what that means. Now, if you can define genocide, and maybe we can maneuver off of that definition, and then we can come together from there.
Genocide is the intentional killing for a large group, whether it's an ethnic group, whether it's a race group of people, and it usually is done through an official policy, but not always, right? If you look at the Holocaust, it wasn't signed into paper by Hitler.
This guy might be a great bird. How many people, I don't know very many people that know that Hitler didn't sign a paper that ordered the final solution. Because I've only ever heard this from two groups. One is Groypers and neo-Nazis and Holocaust deniers being like, you think the final solution was real? Show me where Hitler said it. The second group of people are people that are debunking those people, i.e. me. So, and the reason, by the way, the way you debunk this is, so if he calls, he has all these genocidal rhetorics, like we need to exterminate them, we need to expel them, we need to kill them. And then all of the fucking members of his cabinet and groups are saying like, yep, we took that as we needed to do it. He didn't order us specifically in writing. He didn't tell us specifically, but we knew what we had to do. And that's where we orchestrated these plans. That's why Adolf Eichmann has like, and here's the plans, here's the logistics. How do we kill them all? I think this guy might be one of the first group, but let's see.
During World War II. And so you just don't know what genocide is because you're saying as a byproduct, because some slaves died because of their work, it was a genocide that was intentionally created by the U.S. government, and you know that's false, and you don't even believe that. I know for a fact. And in your book, you probably even state that you don't believe it.
Yeah, we can just look this up. Carson. Let's look at his Instagram. Let's browse. Let's see if this guy is... I don't want to slander this man. Let's look up. What's his name? Carson. Yeah, I friended him. He's being very friendly to me because groupers can be friendly if he is one. Does not exclude. But he might just be a guy who likes Trump. Let's see. Got Nick Fuentes aesthetic. What's this? No. Let's see. No, it's just a trailer for his thing. Maybe we should look at his tweets. Hold on. This is not enough. Discord, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Here we go. Twitter. All right. Cross and bio. That's a red flag. President Trump shouted them out.
Wow, this is a big guy. President of Arizona State University. College Republicans. Carson Carpenter. Thank you. He's done a fantastic job.
Wow.
Young guy. Look, a young guy, huh? He'll be up here someday. Thank you very much, Carson.
Wow, okay. What else we got here? Okay, using gay is pejorative-ish. All right, a little weird. Just talking about free markets. Let's see Israel. Why conservative influences are backing Muslims over Israel? Okay. Donald Trump abandons Israel. Why did Israel bomb an international airport? We will expose money laundering from Israel until American evangelical... Israel keeps gaslighting the U.S. media. I think this guy's a groiper. I don't know. I'm leaning way more groiper. Oh, odd stuff. I'm just asking questions. Israel's going to do it. All right, now we got to go a little deeper. Let's type Jewish. No results from Jewish. Okay, his little mask on, maybe.
It's horrible for any American, but for you personally, what did it do to you?
It was, for my partner and myself, we are Jewish as well, and it was kind of a stab in the heart because this day and age in 2025, you get swastikas written on your vehicle in America, let alone anywhere else in the world.
Now this is an interesting influx of many cultural issues. So we have Carson Carpenter saying he is Jewish, calling this guy out like, this guy's such a victim, and wait, hold on. Wait. Now I'm a little confused. Is he complaining about this? He's like, this is actually bad. Maybe it's not racist. Now, the cultural influx or the cultural meeting point here, the congregation point, which is interesting, is that people were drawing swastikas on Cybertrucks, not to be racist, but because they were like, Elon Musk is a Nazi. So like, you have a Nazi car? This is after he did the like Sieg Heil. So hold on. All right. You've got maybe he's not. Maybe he's like, oh, this is bad. Jewish men are getting hate crimed. Okay. All right. We'll leave it as undecided for now. Global warfare. Thank you for the $2. Random groiper or Stalin for president. Jesus. I don't know. That's a hard one. I guess Stalin would be the lesser of two evils because he doesn't want to like genocide specific racial groups as bad. I don't know, man.
So it doesn't make sense.
So if I know that
collapitalism, was it you, the guy who called him a house N-words? Shaking my head. That was a dumb loner clap back hard. Collapitalism says no, it wasn't. I'm a shit poster. You did say that, dude. I saw the screenshot.
there were millions of black slaves in America, and I know that they legally said, hey, a slave is your property, you can kill them if you want to, and that's not murder. And people did it, and hundreds of thousands of slaves were murdered, if not millions. That's genocidal by your own definition. So for you to again bring up the Mormons, I want you to quote the law. What was the law? And tell me the time period of when these Mormons experienced because you're saying that they experienced. You're going against my claim that Black Americans have been
Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes, easily Ben Shapiro. That's not even hard.
Suppression, treated unfairly.
Well,
so tell me the time period of these Mormons and when this was.
Yeah, it was in the early 1800s, and I'd have to say you're a bigot to not even recognize a genocide that happened in our own country.
So from 1800 to 801?
An intentional genocide.
Hey, I didn't know this happened. I guess I'm a bigot.
Why does it matter what year? Can you explain that?
I'll
I
explain
think
it.
that was confirmed earlier with Elder Josh.
No, it wasn't. So I want to know.
The 1800s?
We don't have a time period.
Now they're just going to compare more.
We got to stamp this down.
This is fine. Well, I don't think he's going to. Let's see. Maybe he'll say something racist here, but nah, let's go listen to this last one.
I want to start first looking at the present and everything that's happening right now, because I feel like a lot in this conversation, we've been diving on things that's happened in Black community, and I definitely agree with you that a lot of things have oppressed Black people, and I will not deny that. Obviously, as a Black person, as a being a person who's a descendant of these things, I have family and people who are affected. But I think the big thing is going forward, and my biggest issue is the things that you preach, the things that I've checked out social media a little bit, and a lot of what you preach is victimhood and not taking accountability. And so I think the first issue, if you really, it's hilarious here, the first thing that you should be looking at is that Black people have a cultural problem, which is the reason why we're failing. Can you acknowledge that?
Speaking of Ben Shapiro, here comes the Ben Shapiro argument from this guy.
Firstly, you made a false claim that if you look at my social media, you see I have a problem with accountability. The first thing when you look at my sociability is one of the key claims that I've gone viral from is I said that I view gangbanging culture and I view gang members as predators. That's not someone who's avoiding accountability because I'm talking specifically to my community where we have a problem with gangs. So you would say someone who says gang members are predators, they're equivalent to child predators. You would say that that person has an accountability issue?
It's still more than just like a multi-factor issue. Like anybody reasonably can say that gangbanging culture is bad. And I'm not saying because you're reasonable to say that. I'm saying it's not just gangbanging culture. It's the fact that 2/3 of Black households don't have a father. It's the problem of Black people are naturally more, I won't say naturally, we do more violent things. We put ourselves in situations.
Ooh, that was an interesting little Freudian slip from my man there. But, we could give him a little pass given his complexion. But, man, if that last guy had said that, I would be a little more concerned about whether or not he's a groper. We're Black people are just naturally more likely to commit. I shouldn't say naturally, actually.
Situations to where we're always looked at as the lesser race. And I definitely think that systems before us are the reason why we are in this situation, but it has to be total accountability, not half accountability. And we have this victim mentality that you preach online over and over again of talking about why we deserve so much because of things that we aren't direct descendants of. You have a people of losers that follow you that do nothing but complain all day.
Yeah, I don't have a victim.
Yeah, pity only fools. He's like, naturally, yeah, this. Maybe you should really save your house N-words for the guy saying, like Black people naturally commit more crime. I'm naturally violent. Yeah, those are, you gotta save. When you call someone a Nazi, right? Like I'm not gonna call Carson a groper until I know for sure. Like he's giving me groper vibes, but he might not be one.
Mentality of just being a victim. That's actually that's actually what my book talks about. So my book doesn't just talk about Black oppression. My book talks about the significant contributions that Black Americans have made. How Black Americans
how significant?
There's a whole guy behind him. I just thought that was funny that I could see him. Where'd you show up?
My book doesn't just talk about Black oppression. My book talks about the significant contributions that Black Americans have made. How Black Americans
how significant? I want to know what's the biggest Black.
Thank you,
so the biggest Black contribution? Yeah. Well, that's subjective to what you value and things like that.
Because you were talking about doorknobs earlier.
No, that's a contribution. You use.
I'm sorry. Are doorknobs not fucking important? They're on all the doors. Did Black people invent doorknobs? I'm sure they invented a kind of one. Who invented doorknobs? The U.S. Patent Office granted an African-American inventor named Osborne Dorsey a patent for an improvement to the door holding device and the doorstop. What was used before? We do know that surface rim locks were used by the Egyptians. The key could have mainly used to knock the door. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, Black people invented doorknobs. Who knew? This guy, not me.
Don't you?
Is that important as a computer, an airplane, a car?
We've contributed to airplanes and cars. We've contributed to airplanes and cars.
I'm saying if you talk about Black contributions, the first thing you have to say is
I use doorknobs way more than I use airplanes. Sorry, buddy.
Doorknobs.
No, he said inventions. He said name 5 Black inventions. Okay. So I named the inventions, and there's a difference between invention and contributions. We've contributed to everything significant that you're going to name. So let's talk about smartphones and stuff like that. We could talk about Jesse Eugene Russell, who's contributed to that. Shirley Jackson, who's contributed to that. Henry P. Sampson, who's contributed to that. Those are 3 people who contributed to smartphones and modern technology when you can, with cell towers and things like that. Those are Black people. So I can go on and on about
I don't want you to get mistaken in thinking that I don't acknowledge that Black people.
No, but you just told me to name them where I can go into more significant things.
I don't think.
But you said I have a thing with accountability. If you look at my social media, and I want everyone to go to my social media when I say, when I'm talking about teen takeovers, and I'm looking at fight videos, and I'm telling people don't smoke, don't do drugs, don't do other things that are plaguing the Black community. That I'm big on. I'm against abortion. I speak out against all of these things. So what are you talking about when I have an accountability issue with the Black community? That's just false for anyone who goes to my social media.
Well, we talk about things like reparations. I know this isn't the topic. That shows that you don't understand accountability and you think you are owed something. No.
Those two don't match. Just because I believe that Black Americans are owed something for what our ancestors built and never got paid for, it wasn't justified, what we went through during Jim Crow, and I believe we're owed something for that, doesn't mean that I don't hold us accountable now for the things that we've done since the Jim Crow era and the things that we're doing now. I talk about the
He's
systemic.
just going to keep talking about victim and culture. I want to see the race and crime statistics after this guy says we naturally commit more crime on accident.
I'm trying to say that
it is law enforcement, not witness testimony, right? Because it's calling a kind of a flag on that one.
But because the law enforcement takes the testimony down and then they say robbery, black person, stuff like that. But it's based on
submitted by law enforcement, not from witness testimony. Some data are incident offense based and arrest based, while victimization surveys use interviews. But testimony is not the basis of the UCR offense. I think it's a technicality.
Yeah, it's a technicality.
I think you're in the right wheelhouse there.
Yeah, because there's no way for law enforcement to get that data without speaking to someone
of arrest and people in
no, it's not off arrest.
Well,
what I'm talking about is crime. I'm talking about the crime statistics. The crime statistics is not based off arrest or convictions. It's based off testimony. Like I just said, if someone gets robbed or so,
Capitalism, they're not acting like you said the hard R. They're upset that you called him like a race traitor. Like the N-word part was the part that I was like, oh, can you use the N-word is what you asked me. And I was like, well, yeah, you can. Like, you're black. Not, can I call someone a race traitor?
they say, well, what was the race of the person? Then the person could be wrong. An example I just said, where the person
could be wrong.
The person is Asian and they say black. So the data is
You know how
skewed.
big the discrepancy is.
But I'm talking about the data is skewed. If that's how they collect data,
it could be skewed by 1 to 2%. It still does not get
1 to 2.
It could be. It could be.
Who's the most exonerated race?
Black.
Okay.
Well, let's maneuver if you have one more fast point.
I think even with that point, like I said, you're trying to diminish the problem that is in the African American community. Even that statement right there, because you understand very clearly that we don't behave at our best behavior, which is the reason why we are placed in these boxes, the reason why we have discrimination. If someone looks at Jamal, they associate crime with that. We create these stereotypes onto ourselves. That's why I believe in
that. Okay. So if the black community commits, let's say the black community commits more crime based on race stats, therefore it's their fault that people judge black names on like resumes worse, or they're more likely to treat someone else based on that race. Like, no, that's what racism is. You're treating people bad based on the actions of others for no reason other than you think all people of that race are bad. Like, that's why it's bad. They didn't bring it on themselves. It's ridiculous. Like, this guy is like, oh yeah, well, it's black people's fault that, you know, black people are discriminated against in job hiring. Therefore, they just need to commit less crime. And then it's not the white guy's fault for discriminating against you when you hire people. It's the black people's fault for making them think that. You made me racist by doing things that make me not like all the people in the race. You've done 2 crimes. What are the 2 crimes you've done, buddy?
not half accountability, not saying you can dismiss like gang violence, bad culture, and things like that. It's total accountability. And if the data is skewed the same way that the data is skewed with, I know you're talking about the 4 million and some of them being mulatto early and stuff like that. The vast majority and the big point is that we have to act better. We cannot blame other people for things that we have inside of our community. And yes, those things are present, but outward thinking is the only way that you can develop a future society.
That sounded like a final. Was that your final?
I thought he was doing a final.
Yeah,
what you
really
said.
good.
What you said.
It sounded really good. Well, I did say one more quick if you got another fast point, but that was like a really good closing. I liked it.
Yeah,
but no, if you...
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do more or say more, but when you say the we, I don't like to generalize because obviously I don't fit that. I don't think you fit that. I don't know you. But me, myself, I've never been incarcerated, never been in handcuffs. Again, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I have an identical twin brother who's a police officer. So it shows you where I stand with certain things. So him and I have this discussion. We have discussion about when people are extremely in the wrong. And I speak out when someone was killed unjustly. I'm not one of those people to just jump up when someone black was killed because I'm going to look from an objective standpoint and say, wait a minute.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I was trying to argue, like, we shouldn't just jump up anytime a black guy's killed and say, like, you know, they're totally innocent. They did nothing wrong. He's saying that now because he acknowledges there's nuance to that. But in the Carmelo Anthony case, like, I think he's like willfully ignorant to the point where he just thinks he did literally nothing wrong, basically. Or I guess he said he should get a reduced sentence, but it's like, no, dude, it's murder. It's murder based on these facts. So.
Minute, what happened there? So there are certain things in our community that we need to fix. Again, I speak out against accountability, but I do realize how we've been treated systemically and how we are treated systemically.
You think black supremacy is the answer to that?
My definition of black supremacy, yes.
What was your definition of black supremacy?
So in my book, what I talk about, and I'll surmise it, I talk about black oppression, but I talk about black excellence. I talk about black contributions and how even in our oppression, we were thriving. Well, not thriving, but we had people who were thriving and doing well. So we had people who were authors. We had people who were going to school. We look at W.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, people who showed intellect. We look at people like Harriet Tubman.
Those guys are dead now. I rest my case.
Who was resilient.
Just so everyone knows, it's a reference to Jesse Lee Peterson from an hour ago. I'm not being racist, all right?
And still contributed to being a spy during the Civil War. So that's black supremacy to me. When you can display extreme resilience through what you're going through. When you look at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., when you look at Malcolm X, how he changed his life.
Supremacy has to be on a comparison, though. Even the word, like you think white supremacy, now you're being put on this pedestal. Do you put black people on the pedestal above other minorities?
First that white supremacy and black supremacy aren't the same thing. But how? In the book, I make the premise. So I put our resilience on a pedestal because the whole point is our love.
I've had a copy just holding it up for 4 hours. I don't know why you didn't.
full of oppression, and for us to be where we were in the 1940s and 1950s and 60s, even for us to be where we are today and still have a fighting chance, we do need to eliminate some things. But if you really take into consideration what we've been through, where we are right now is to be applauded.
I guess
inventing doorknobs is already impressive. Inventing doorknobs under the oppression of American white supremacy, even more impressive. It's not a bad argument.
Black superiority. We cannot be applauded if this is the result of where we are currently right now. We do not deserve to be applauded.
For being resilient and being here. We have stuff to fix. We have stuff to fix. We already went over what we have to fix.
If you take a beating, you don't get applauded for taking the beating.
If you get up, if you fall down 7 times.
Has this guy seen Rocky? Come on.
We're not getting applauded. This is we're failing. We have no reason to be applauding anything.
Who is we?
The black community as a whole, if you want to tie it to.
What percentage of black people in America are criminals?
Disproportionately too much.
No, it's not. It's a very small amount.
Actually, I don't know the number.
If you look at,
I don't think it's.
There's around 43 to 48 million black people in America today, and less than 1 million of those people are criminals. So that tells you something.
Is that true?
That's true.
I'll wait for the thing, but let's
wait for the AI fact check.
Move into
even incarcerated or on parole or probation.
You think we should be applauded for how we are currently right now?
Huh?
If like I
mean, if 1 in 40 people are incarcerated, that's not good. But it's not how you judge an entire community.
That if you take a beating, that's nothing to be applauded for. We're still down.
So look, I put the highest expectations on black people because of how I view us. I don't like how when I see us behave in certain ways, when I see black teen takeovers, I don't want us doing negative things. No, I don't want us fit in any negative stereotypes.
We don't have a culture to be proud of.
I don't want us fit in.
We don't have a culture.
We have parts of our culture that we shouldn't be proud of. Certain parts of our culture we should be very proud of.
Our identity as a whole does not result in positivity. I firmly believe this. I think the reason why we have so many race issues is because what's associated with African American culture, and that culture is not from Africa. That's a culture.
This guy's crazy. This is like we cause racism. Every black person is responsible for racism. It's never the white person who's painting with too broad a brush. It's never the systems that are meant to keep black people down. It's like, well, if black people didn't do raps and do crimes, then people wouldn't treat them bad.
From African Americans, us.
That's not.
We are the entertainment of the world and how we portray ourselves, and we portray ourselves as less than, therefore we'll be treated as less than. I'm a motivational speaker. I host a course in mentorship and stuff myself, and the biggest thing that I tell people is accountability, and you will always be looked at as.
Why don't black people just pull up their pants is what this guy's saying. If they just pulled up their pants and stopped making that dang rap music, people would stop being racist.
Less because of.
Hey, soy Bill, guess what that guy is? Yeah, capitalism. You can call this guy that one. I think this one qualifies. This is a valid usage of
the systems that have been put in place on us, and because of the identity that the culture has created.
But what percentage of black people do you think are acting out and not to be proud of?
I might say it's over 50. It's close to 50.
Well, is that the Hassan
unfortunately,
take?
that silent majority will always.
Hassan say black people bring it on themselves? Jesus.
Go in favor.
We did get a red flag on fewer than 1 million black people in America are criminals, and it said that it conflates the arrest, convictions, incarceration, and criminality. So it's kind of like a misleading statement or a claim. So I think you have to probably look at the actual data and pool like per capita and things like that. I think
anybody can look that up.
Convicted criminals. If I have a 33% chance to be arrested because I'm black, that's insane.
You what?
33% chance to be arrested because I'm black, because 1/3 of African Americans will be arrested at some point in their life. African American
men. I like how this guy says one in 3 black men will be arrested, and that's an indictment of the black community, and not, hey, do you think maybe these people are over policed?
And 55% will be exonerated.
This guy thinks the black.
All right, let's move into our closing statements, gentlemen, and go from there. Go ahead to you.
Like I said, I believe in 100% true accountability. I think that African American culture is corrupt, and I think it's only getting worse because of conversations like these. I don't think this is positive, and in the aspect of we are moving in a direction, as we see over the years, where we become more dependent on the government, we become less intelligent, and we become poor decision makers. And we.
So does soy hurt gym gains? Yes, I have far less protein that I used to have, but I don't think it hurts them that bad.
Glorify those poor decisions way too much, and I know that's not something that you necessarily believe in, and not something that you glorify, but you do take away accountabilities with some of the rhetoric and some of the viewpoints.
All right, I don't know if this guy's worth listening to. So, guys, we're about to wrap up here. We're going on 3 hours, but one last thing, just for me. You guys got to give me this. We got to watch this clip one more time. This might have been the funniest thing I've seen in quite a long time.
Does a chicken have lips?
Yes, I believe so.
A chicken have lips?
As far as I know.
True or false, giving a woman the right to vote was a big mistake?
False.
What?
Giving them the right to vote.
Clip it for me. Somebody clip it for me. It's so good.
A chicken have lips?
As far as I know.
True or false, giving a woman the right to vote was a big mistake?
False.
What?
Giving them the right to vote?
Giving the woman, true or false? Giving the women the right to vote was a big mistake.
That's false.
That's false?
They should have the right to vote.
You saying that's false?
They should have the right to vote, so that's false.
Women should have the right to vote?
Yes.
Amazing.
I got to get on that show. I got to get on Jesse Lee Peterson. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We had fun watching my debate performance. I think Sean Mike Kelly, I expect better in the future. I think you need to have better guests, better conversations, less clickbaity titles. And if you can't make it without doing that, then the industry does not deserve to exist. All right? Then we're just race baiting and clickbaiting and rage baiting. It's all bad. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. We're still got really big stream numbers. Awesome. Thank you for experiencing Jesse Lee Peterson with me. Soy plushies. If you have an order run, please. We're more than halfway to the goal of 50 soy plushies. Links in the description. Is it in the description, actually? Is it? I think it is. I'll put it in the description of the VOD if it's not. But I really want to sell more soy plushies because if we don't get to 50, we don't get soy plushies for everyone. And I want everyone to get a soy plushie. And trust me, I'm not making that much money off it. This is not me being greedy. I just want them to go out because I'd be really sad if they didn't. Otherwise, Type 1 to the deep state. I'm trying to stream more often. I might stream tomorrow. We'll see if I have something to stream about. If not, I think I have a debate Friday, but I want to get some other stuff in there in the meantime. And then I want to start working on the new vid. But thank you for being here. Yeah, Type 1. Yes, I can blow you a kiss. Mwah. Love you guys and have a great night. No, the Lunderbox debate's on the 2nd. I'm prepping for that. So, all right. Good night, everybody.